Number 60, Matt McCoy. Our next senior, number 66.
And a very pleasant good evening, football fans, and welcome to the final regular season week of Henley Hornets football. Tonight, the Henley Hornets coming into tonight's evening matchup 7-1, look to finish out the season strong against the North Bend Bulldogs. Good evening, everybody. My name is Josh Eldridge. Along with me is Kevin Petrick and Kaylin Rodriguez running the live stream for you tonight on mybasin.com. We've made it to the end of the regular season. Henley's got one more opponent in front of them. It is the 4-4 North Bend Bulldogs. It should be a fairly interesting matchup tonight. Kevin, Henley comes off of a loss last week, their first of the season against the number one team in the state. The loss against Mazama last week, 44-36. A lot of takeaways from that game, but even though it was a loss, I think most of the takeaways you had from last week were positive coming into this game.
Absolutely. Everybody you talk to says what a great game it was and how Henley played very well, and I think that's the case. Henley showed they can play against any of the good teams in the state, and last week was no exception.
One of the things last week that I think was maybe one of the real true tests was the offensive line last week and how they were able to match up against some of Mazama's guys up front. And frankly, for being a little bit undersized, I think the guys up front did really well, and that's certainly going to be something that we focus in on tonight and heading into the playoffs when we start to look at that next week and the coming weeks, hopefully, for the Hornets.
Yeah. The Henley's line, both offensively and defensively, has just gotten better and better against good opponents. So obviously, when we hit the playoffs next week, we'll be facing some good teams with good lines. So it's important that they keep that momentum going tonight.
This offensive line has some pretty great talent working behind him too, and Logan Whitlock, who again is number one in the state in rushing yards, number one in the state in rushing touchdowns coming into tonight's game, and Shaw Stork, who is just shy of 500 rushing yards on the season too, coming out of the backfield from time to time. So this offensive line can feel confident with the guys they've got running behind them too, I think.
Absolutely. It's a great offense, and they put up a lot of points last week.
Right.
You know, they did lose the game, but you score in the 30s, 40s against top 10 teams, you've got a good offense. Yeah.
Hoping to see another great performance from a solid Henley Hornets offense tonight in their final Big Sky Conference game of the season. It's the final regular season game. We'll take a look at the conference standings. We'll take a look at the rankings across the state and tell you what might lay ahead as playoffs begin a week from tonight. Details on that coming up in just a bit as we continue your coverage of Henley Hornets football on 104.3 and 960 Sports HD Video Basin.com.
The road can be a crazy place. Uh-oh! That's why Les Schwab Tires fixes brakes, steering, and more. And those guys don't. Keep driving. I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first, so I can backseat drive with confidence.
Help maximize your mileage with a free safety check. Just swing by. Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place and then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses. all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
We're getting closer to kickoff on a beautiful Friday night from just south of Klamath Falls at Henley High School, Hill O'Brien Field, the site of tonight's football matchup between the hometown Henley Hornets and the North Bend Bulldogs. Coming into tonight's matchup as we take a look at the Big Sky Conference. Both these teams still, in a way, in a race for the playoffs. Mazama leads the Big Sky Conference. They are undefeated across the board, #1 in the state, and for good reason. Beat Henley last week 44-36 on their way to a 5-0 record. Then you have the Henley Hornets, who are ranked 4th in the state, 4-1 in league play. They are 7-1 overall this season. Followed that up by the Marshfield Pirates, who are ranked 8th in the state, and they're also 4-1, 6-2 overall, so still a game back of the Hornets, at least coming into tonight in terms of the overall record. And then you have these North Bend Bulldogs, 3-2 in league play. They're 4-4 overall, and some things have to go right for them, but they're right there in the mix as well. We'll dissect that in just a moment. Klamath Union, Hidden Valley, and Ashland pretty well out of the playoff mix. Just 2 wins in league play between those 3 teams, and just 5 wins overall on the season between those 3 teams. And but as we look at those top 4, Kevin, you and I were kind of talking. There are some things that would have to break right for North Bend, but just because they're kind of on the outside looking in right now doesn't mean they won't be by the end of tonight. They got something to play for.
That's what I was going to say is, when you come into a game at the end of the season, how motivated are the kids? North Bend's got something to play for. They have a mathematical chance. Some things have to happen. Just by chance, both the games are in Klamath Falls tonight. The Marshfield-Mazama game, if Marshfield were to win and North Bend were to win, North Bend would actually make a playoff. So they have something to play for. Henley is in a great spot. They're playing for that 4. If they can keep the 4 ranking in the state in that playoff bracket, you could be fortunate. If you win along the way, you get 2 home games.
Right.
So Henley's playing for a lot tonight. You really want to keep that 4 spot. You want to get at least #2 in your league. So a lot on the line tonight.
Yeah, certainly. As you talk about that playoff picture, 16 teams qualify for the OSAA bracket at the end of the season. 15 automatically qualify. Each special district in the state, there's 5 of them, get 3 automatic bids. And either the Big Sky Conference or the conference up north, which features teams like Staten, Cascade, etc. Those are the teams on the bubble over in their conference as well. So it's sort of a battle for that last and only at-large bid in the playoffs, which begin next weekend. So we're coming right down to the wire in that respect. As we take a look at the top 10 coming into tonight, again, a lot can change here, but this goes pretty much all the way in terms of deciding who gets 1 through 16 when they're seated into that bracket. Mazama, of course, is at the top of the state. They're taking on Marshfield tonight. LeGrand, as a matter of fact, the second-ranked team, earned a forfeit win this week over the Dalles, who forfeited a couple weeks in a row now. #3, Marist, is taking on Junction City tonight. Of course, our Henley Hornets at home against North Bend. Last night, 5th-ranked Scappoose took care of Astoria 34-8. So that's the only game in the top 10 that's been completed so far. Tillamook ranked 6th there against Milwaukee tonight. #7, Estacada on the road against Woodburn. Marshfield again visiting Mazama tonight, the 8th-ranked team. And Baker, #9, taking on Pendleton, and of course Pendleton is that #10th ranked team in the state coming into tonight. So a couple of top 10 matchups going on. These rankings get one final chance to change. They lock tomorrow night, I believe, at 9 o'clock or something Pacific Standard Time, and then we're seated into the playoff bracket.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. The 2 Klamath teams have really good rankings going into this last week, and the Hornets they have a real good look at a 4.
Yeah, certainly, and the Hornets and the Vikings, not the only teams from the Basin that are in good position to make the playoffs, too. You look at some of the other teams. Lost River tonight. They're taking on Prospect on the road. They've got a good shot at a nice little playoff run in the 1A. Cross Point Christian tonight playing Camas Valley, another team from the Basin. And, of course, last night, Bonanza beat Chiloquin 64-6 was the final score there. Just to bring it back to the Big Sky Conference, tonight, of course, we've talked about Mazama playing Marshfield, but the pair of other games involving Big Sky teams tonight, Ashland is hosting Klamath Union, and Hidden Valley playing a non-league game against Cottage Grove tonight. We'll try to keep you updated on those games as we move throughout the broadcast, especially that Mazama and Marshfield game, because it does mean so much for how the Big Sky Conference standings finalize come tomorrow night. So, with all that ahead, we still got a football game to look forward to tonight. The Hornets are hosting the Bulldogs. We'll break down this matchup a little bit when we come back as we continue your coverage of Hornets football on 104.3 and 9 Sports HD video tonight on mybasin.com.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it, but the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes, and then going Saturdays, I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager of Clown Falls Honda and Clown Falls Subaru. I've lived here my whole life. Most of our employees have lived here their whole life too. Our sales, service, parts, and body shop teams are all staffed with experienced local folks. You know them and they know you. Our dealerships are comfortable and not corporate. Comfortable means we're focused on you. I'm Rob, and I'm glad to know you.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
We welcome you back to Hill O'Brien Field, the site of tonight's matchup between the Henley Hornets and the North Bend Bulldogs, the final regular season game of the season. Henley enters 7-1 overall, 4-1 in league play. The Bulldogs 4-4 overall this season, 3-2 in Big Sky Conference play. But a 500 record in this league, Kev, it goes a long way, and North Bend has been a fairly good football team this year.
Yeah, and they've gotten better. I think what people don't see is they've won their last 3 league games. They've won 3 of their last 4. And so they're on a little bit of a roll. And after looking at all the teams now in the league, this is probably the second biggest team we've seen. They've got a good-sized line. Mazama's, of course, a little bit bigger, but they have a big line, so they're going to want to establish the run. That seems to be their primary objective heading into each game.
And coming into this game, talking with Coach Alex Stork earlier this week, he said Yeah, North Bend is 500 this year. They maybe struggled when they went up to 5A, but people forget that when they were down at 4A before they went back up, they were a dominant force and even won a state championship in 2016 when they played at this classification. Still, under their current head coach, Gary Prince, in his 12th season, he's got a 94-23 overall record in those 12 years. So this is a solid program coming here to the Basin tonight.
Yeah, they know how to win, and they have athletes. That's a big school. Something else I noticed is they have a lot of athletes in their defensive secondary. They have some good cornerbacks. So Henley will have to be careful tonight, working their way around those cornerbacks in their passing game.
It's going to be a lot for Shaw Stork to attack tonight, along with the rest of the Hornets offense. We'll meet all 11 when we return as we continue your coverage of Hornets football just a few minutes away from coin toss and kickoff on 104.3 and 960 Sports tonight. Video on mybasin.com.
The road can be a crazy place. Uh-oh! That's why Les Schwab Tires fixes brakes, steering, and more. And those guys don't. Keep driving. I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first, so I can backseat drive with confidence.
Help maximize your mileage with a free safety check. Just swing by. Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home, I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Would you please rise as Chris Benjamin, Henley choir instructor and football coach, will sing our...
We appreciate you being with us on 104.3 and 960 Sports tonight. It's time for our national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So now just a few minutes away from the coin toss and kickoff here at Henley High School, Hill O'Brien Field. My name is Josh Eldridge. With me tonight, Kevin Petrick and Caitlin Rodriguez running the live stream for you. And as our captains meet at midfield, a fine time to introduce you to the starting lineups for the Henley Hornets. We'll start with the offensive line going from left to right. At left tackle, Owen Northcutt tonight, followed by Juan Manzo at the left guard. Our center tonight is Braden Morris. The right guard, Nate Tappan, and right tackle, Emiliano Ortiz. The man under center tonight is Shaw Stork. He's accompanied in the backfield by Logan Whitlock and a receiving core of Chris Janney, Luke Bennett, Owen Sheen, and Tyler Harper. This has been a dynamic group this season, Kevin.
Yeah, it is senior night, and we celebrated some of those seniors before the game. A lot of leadership from those seniors, and the underclassmen have filled in very nicely. And Henley's peaking right at the right time. They're playing very well.
Our captains meeting at midfield tonight. First from the North Bend Bulldogs, number 4, junior wide receiver Peyton Forrester. Number 6, senior wide receiver Hunter Wheeling. You've also got number 54, offensive lineman Joshua Stevens, and number 79, Carmen Tice, the senior offensive lineman. And for the Hornets, it's going to be Logan Whitlock, Shaw Stork, Braden Morris, and Juan Manzo down there at the coin toss. And now it looks like the Hornets won the toss. They've deferred. It's been a theme this season, I think.
Yes. They like to do that when they win the toss. Start off on defense.
And North Bend will receive the football, and they'll do it when we return, just a few seconds away from kickoff on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Brief message, and we'll be back with Henley football on mybasin.com.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
Moments away from Hornets football tonight at Henley High School. It is 47 degrees, should get below 45 tonight as we face north from our vantage point in the grandstand at Hill O'Brien Field. The Hornets are kicking off, which means the Bulldogs are going from right to left in all white this evening with the maroon helmets with NB written on the side as the kick is up and into the end zone from Sheen, and that is how we'll get things started tonight. The Hornets in their navy blue helmets with the yellow H on the side, the yellow stripe down the middle, black jerseys tonight with the yellow trim, yellow pants, and a navy blue stripe down the side. This North Bend offense led out onto the field tonight by their quarterback, who's tossed for over 1,200 yards this season, 10 touchdowns. He's also been active out of the backfield, 560 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns for Cole Hansen, the quarterback from North Bend, as they start with the football at their own 20 with 12 on the clock.
That flag is just not moving at all. Last time we were here, Josh, it was sideways rain, so a little different conditions tonight.
Yeah, certainly. We're staying dry this evening, I think.
I think so.
It'll be 1st and 10 for North Bend, their starters after this, as Hansen going to take the snap and a direct handoff. Is going to move forward for about 7. In on the carry there was Hunter Wheeling, the senior. He's a captain. Also out there as a wide receiver is going to be Luke Wheeling, David Roberts and Jason Paget will get you the line after this. This is going to be a keeper for the quarterback. Hansen has a little bit of room along the right side before being brought down. A good gain on the play of about 8. That'll be good enough for a Bulldogs first down.
Doing kind of what we thought they would do. They're going to start off with the run, try to establish that, and they picked up an early first down.
On the offensive line for North Bend, Joshua Stevens, Rocky Johnson, Jake Perry, Logan Hall, and Carmen Tice. 1st and 10 from the Bulldogs 31. Hansen drops back to pass, and he hits his receiver on the far sideline. It is a catch reined in by David Roberts upfield for a gain of 6 or 7, and second down coming for the Bulldogs.
Owen Sheen pushed him out of bounds there, but not after a pickup of about 7, and that was a nice route, just a simple flag route to the far side of the field. Good pass, good throw, good catch.
It's 2nd and 3 for the Bulldogs from the 37-yard line. It's going to be another keeper for Hansen. Has a gap up the middle. Maneuvers upfield for a gain of 5, and another Bulldogs first down, dragged down at about the 44-yard line.
North Bend moving the football pretty well, and they're doing it in a hurry. They're getting right up to the line, and they're running the next play. Not wasting any time. Nolan Northcutt making the stop on that last play.
1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 44-yard line. They're moving the ball nicely. Hansen takes the snap. This is going to be a handoff to Wheeling up the middle, and he battles forward. A nice gain of 3 or 4 on the play. As Wheeling kept those feet moving, finally dragged down.
There's Nolan again. Linebackers making a lot of tackles in the middle on this first drive. That's where the football has been going.
10.5 to go in the first. Still a scoreless ball game. North Bend faces a 2nd and 6 from their own 48. Hansen takes the direct snap, and it's a keeper for him, designed right up the gut, just short of the first down. Call it a gain of 5 on the play. That'll present a 3rd and 1 opportunity. The first third down North Bend has been faced with tonight.
Look like Cohen, Redmond, and McCoy. Matt McCoy on the stop. 3rd and short.
3rd and 1, now on the other side of midfield, driving downfield. It's a handoff to Wheeling, and he is stuffed right at the line, and already a situation where it's a close call on a 3rd down conversion attempt.
McCoy again with a nice tackle, and it's close enough. They may measure. It's very close to a first down.
And yeah, I think you're right. They might bring the sticks out here. They're bringing the ball to the sidelines, more like. Don't see that one too often.
Yeah, you don't see that. Oh, first down.
All right, there you have it. North Bend converting on 3rd down, giving them their third down of this drive. And they keep it moving with 9:40 to go in the first, and still a scoreless ball game. Or, well, the signal was first down, and now they're looking at it a 3rd time right in front of that marker on the far sideline.
It's been a bit confusing since the end of the play.
Yeah.
They're still trying to figure it out over there.
You don't see him move the football to the sideline too often. I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen that. Well, it is a time to remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Les Schwab Tires. Having the right set of tires and wheels on your vehicle is just part of an essential safety checklist. That's why Les Schwab does more than install just tires and wheels. You can come on in for a free pre-trip safety check, and they're going to make sure everything's in working order at Les Schwab. So they decided it's short after all. It'll be 4th and inches. It's a design QB sneak and a gain of 2 down to the 45-yard line in Henley territory. That will give North Bend a conversion. So 0 for 1 on 3rd down tonight, 1 for 1 on 4th. After that conversion, it'll be 1st and 10 from the Henley 45.
That was a good look at that big line, big push on that quarterback sneak for North Bend.
Hansen with Wheeling to his right, drops back. He's looking to his left, now scrambling to his right, cuts up field. Makes a juke step left, moves right, now across at the far sideline. Might have gotten upfield for a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Bulldogs.
Looked like Bakke over there made a nice tackle. Did a good job of stringing that play to the sidelines. Very small gain, only about a yard.
All right, Hansen in the same formation with his Bulldogs, with his running back to his right. It's going to be a handoff to Wheeling, a misdirection up the middle, and a decent gain of 3 or 4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and about 6 for the Bulldogs.
Looked like Ortiz in on the tackle for Henley on that one. And here comes the first 3rd and long situation.
And we'll say 2 Wheeling brothers on the Bulldogs tonight. Wide receiver, Luke Wheeling, Hunter Wheeling, the running back. This time it is a pass intended over the middle to Sam Mickelson. Hits his hands and drops incomplete. So a 3rd down stop presents a 4th down in Henley territory for the Bulldogs. The ball stationed right now at about the 41 into Henley territory. And this will be the 11th play of the drive coming up.
That's what Henley defense wants to do here. Force 3rd and long. Make North Bend pass the football a little bit. And then get them into a 4th down situation.
Here they are, 4th and 6. They're trying to go for it again with Wheeling, the running back, to Hansen's left. Wheeling dropping back to pass, has some time to throw, fires a bullet over the middle, and it is caught by Roberts upfield for a gain of about 15 or more. 1st down Bulldogs down at the 26.
It's a nice 4th down play. Showing no fear right there. Drop back pass. Had a receiver right in the middle of the field, found a seam, and that was plenty enough for a 1st down.
And North Bend gets on the ball quickly here. 1st and 10 again at the 26. This is going to be a handoff to Wheeling. Doesn't get very far, if anywhere at all. 2nd down on the way for the Bulldogs.
Cooper Grow making a nice tackle. Another very short gain. Henley starting to adjust a little bit, figure out some of these inside runs.
This one going to be taken from about the 27. It'll be 2nd and 9 into Henley territory. Hansen drops back to pass, a couple of steps to his right. Looking along the right sideline, the pass is knocked down, incomplete. On the coverage was Chris Janney on the far side of the field, 3rd down and long.
That was nice coverage by Chris. He read that play the whole way and actually jumped in front of the receiver, and he had a chance at it. Well done. Bringing up a 3rd down and about 9.
And this is the 14th play of the drive coming up, and North Bend 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions this drive, but have successfully completed 4th down conversion twice. Here's their 3rd and 9 attempt. Hansen drops back into the pocket, has time to throw. Short dunk pass over the middle is caught, but wrestled down just after the catch. I believe that was Roberts on the reception. It brings up another 4th and 6 after the gain of 3.
I think that was Fox on the tackle. Good coverage. Knew it was 3rd and long and kept the gain short. Just a short pass. And another 4th down, about 6 to go.
4th and 6, Hansen and the Bulldogs try to get Henley on the hard count to no avail. Wheeling now switching from right to left around Hansen, the running back in the backfield. Here's the 4th and 6 try. Hansen drops back to pass, and their pass over the middle is caught again by Roberts once more. Coming up big on 4th down multiple times in the row on the 15th play of the drive. That's the 4th 3rd down conversion this drive for the Bulldogs.
That was almost the same play as that last 4th down, just right in the middle of the football field. Got between the defenders. Another 1st down.
1st and goal from the 8. The Bulldogs driving 6.5 to go in this 1st quarter. Handoff to Wheeling. He drives upfield and is promptly stopped and driven backwards, but they give him forward progress to the 5, maybe the 4. It'll be 2nd and goal inside the 5.
Whitlock and Owen Northcutt making the stop there. North Bend just marching the football. We'll see if Henley can stop a touchdown.
17th play of the drive on the way. 2nd and goal at the 5. This is going to be a keeper for Hansen on the option. Moving upfield inside the 5 and lifted into the end zone for a Bulldogs touchdown.
The first thing you notice when you look at North Bend is their size on that line, and they used it to their advantage on this drive. Good pass protection, very good run blocking, and they get an early touchdown and a lead.
Hansen punching it in there for the Bulldogs. That is his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. And now for the extra point try. The kick is up, and it is good from Clayton Wharton. The junior knocking it through the uprights, giving his team a 7-0 lead over the Hornets with 5:50 to go in the first. We'll be back as we continue your coverage of Henley football on 104.3 and 960 Sports HD video tonight on Mason.com.
Oregon Tech men and women basketball season tickets are on sale now, starting at just $75 for 30 games. Come help us celebrate our 75th anniversary and cheer on the Hustlin' Owls. Reserved season seats start at $175. And our all-new Family Pass gets a family of 4 in on the action starting at just $200. Go to OregonTechOwls.com/tickets to order. We will see you at Danny Miles Court.
We're back with Hornets football on 104.3 and 960 Sports. 7-0 North Bend leads as they capped off a 17-play, about 6-minute drive with a 5-yard quarterback keeper. Hansen punched it in for his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. Bulldogs lead 7-0. It'll be the Hornets' turn with the football as they will return the kick. Back to receive, as usual, is Luke Bennett to the near side and Logan Whitlock to the far side. The kick is going to be a high kick out to about the 40 is where it's fielded and brought down maybe at the 38, not quite, or pardon me, that was kicked out to the 30 and maybe brought down at the 28. We'll see exactly where they place it, and the Hornets getting their first possession of the game.
Owen Sheen made the catch on that kickoff, just a little pooch kick in the middle of the field. They didn't want to kick it deep and test the legs of Logan Whitlock. So the Hornets will get their first possession started off here. 1st and 10.
1st and 10 from the 30 is where the Hornets will begin. Led out onto the field by Shaw Stork and Logan Whitlock in the backfield. The rest of the offensive starters in just a moment as Stork with Whitlock to his right, takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Logan on the first play of the game, trying to bounce around to the near side. He's up to the 35, now to the 40, up to the 45, brought down before crossing midfield, down to the 49-yard line, and a big gain of 19 yards on the first play from scrimmage for the Hornets.
Henley may get a chance to showcase their speed tonight. We've seen it all season, and Logan definitely had the feet on the outside that time.
First and 10 Hornets from their own 49-yard line. Stork now with Whitlock to his left. It's going to be a keeper for Stork. He's got room to his left. Now crosses midfield down to the 45, brought down at about the 42-yard line. A gain of 8 or 9 for Shaw. 2nd down Hornets. He's out there on offense with, again, Logan Whitlock in the backfield. A receiving core of Chris Janney, Luke Bennett, Owen Sheen, and Tyler Harper. His line from left to right: Owen Northcutt, Juan Manzo, Braden Morris, Nate Tappan, and Emilio Ano Ortiz. It's 2nd and 2. The Hornets now into Bulldogs territory. A handoff to Logan. Blast right through the hole, down at the 35, maybe the 34-yard line. A first down for the Hornets on a solid gain.
And Hornets also moving the football, just as North Bend did on their first possession. 3 good runs to start off this drive.
1st and 10, Hornets at the Bulldogs' 34-yard line. It's going to be a keeper for Stork on the fake handoff. Moves upfield inside the 25. Brought down at the 22. First down Hornets. Another good gain by Henley. They're moving the ball downfield nicely.
Yeah, Shaw made a good decision there to pull the ball, keep it, and he found a lot of room on the near side. Another first down.
1st and 10 Hornets now from the Bulldogs' 20. Into the red zone for the first time tonight. Henley with a handoff to Whitlock. He's got some blockers coming downfield to the near sideline. He's inside the 15, stays up at the 10, dives for the end zone. Touchdown Hornets! The league leader in touchdowns on the season, notches his 19th of the year and brings his team within 1 with 3:51 to go in the first.
Nice quick scoring drive from Henley. Good blocking on the outside. Janney and Sheen with key blocks. Touchdown Hornets.
First score of the night for Henley. And Whitlock punches it in from 20 yards. Now we're waiting for a potential extra point kick from Owen Sheen, who's been about 70% on the season. Didn't have great luck last week against Mazama, but hoping for better fortunes tonight with a lot less wind as a variable this evening.
Right, conditions are a lot better tonight.
The hold by Janney, the kick by Sheen. It is right through the uprights, and we've got a tie ball game, 7-7. With 3:51 to go in the first. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Abby's Legendary Pizza. If you're looking for a great place to eat, head to one of Abby's Legendary Pizza locations for some of the best pizza in the Klamath Basin at 1919 Austin Street or at 2226 Shalleck Street near OIT. Abby's Legendary Pizza is a proud supporter of high school athletics. The Hornets punching it in after a 5-play drive that took them 70 yards and just under 2 minutes, call it a minute 54, and that is the Hornets offense we're accustomed to.
And there's that 2 minutes. The Hornets like to score inside of 2 minutes. They did it again, and we haven't really seen any defense so far tonight from either team. The offense has had their way. We'll see if Henley can make some adjustments and try to deal with that big offensive line from North Bend.
It'll be Owen Sheen to kick things off back there for North Bend. On the far side of the field is David Roberts, and I believe to the near side is Michael Sermano. Pardon me, it's Peyton Forrester back there to receive. The kick is up, and Sheen put a nice boot into that one, ends up into the end zone and a touchback. So North Bend will start their second possession just like they started their first, at their own 20, although this time with 3:51 to go in the first quarter. We're tied at 7.
That was a nice kickoff. Those kickoffs are actually landing in the air in the end zone. There's some strong kicks. So that puts North Bend at the 20, and they're not going to want to change a whole lot. They had a nice long drive. How many plays that first drive?
17 plays. The thing of that first drive, though, is they tried to convert 3 times on third down and failed, but succeeded 3 times on fourth down.
They did. They're very aggressive.
First and 10, Bulldogs from their own 20 as they go from right to left. Hansen calls for the snap. It's going to be a keeper for Hansen on the option, but he is wrapped up and brought down after just a small gain of about 2 yards. 2nd and 8 on the way for the Bulldogs.
Chris Janney busting through the line to make that tackle. Picked up about 4.
2nd down and along 7. Hansen again trying to get Henley on the hard count. They've been very disciplined on the defensive end this year. Haven't let that one bite them too often. Here we try again. 2nd and 7. Hansen with a quick screen pass to Robinson on the far sideline. Gets one blocker moving upfield and a gain of 3 or 4. It'll be 3rd and short. About 3rd and 3 coming up for North Bend.
Janney closed in a hurry to make that tackle. That was a nice play we hadn't seen yet from North Bend. Just a simple quick pass to the wide receiver. 1-step throw. Brings up 3rd and short.
Call it 3rd and about 2 for North Bend. Yard to gain is the 30. It's going to be a handoff to Wheeling, and he powers forward for 4 yards. Good enough for a North Bend first down, brought down at the 33.
Nolan Northcutt, a lot of tackles for Nolan tonight. Played most of the season with a cast on his arm, and I think he's out there and he's shown a lot of energy tonight. Some good defense.
North Bend earning that first down, again puts them up by the 33-yard line. Still in their own territory, driving upfield. It's 1st and 10. Another handoff to Wheeling. Has a little bit of room maneuvering on the right side. Moves upfield for a gain of 5. 2nd down.
Bulldogs just doing what they want here with the pace and with the play calling, executing without much resistance here early.
You wonder if they saw the Mazama film last week and saw maybe running the ball worked against some of these guys up front for Henley. They're moving the ball nicely.
Yeah.
Here's 2nd and 5 for North Bend, still from their own 36-yard line. It's a design keeper for Hansen, but he is wrapped up swiftly and brought down. A loss of 1 on the play makes it 3rd and 6.
And we've seen that a couple times now in a row from Chris Janney. He's stunting from that far side. He's normally at cornerback position, but he's playing the edge right now and really doing a nice job.
Here we go, 3rd and 6 coming up for North Bend. Hansen gets the snap, looks over the middle, now to the right side, finds his receiver, and the pass is completed. In on the catch was Luke Wheeling on the far sideline. Call it a gain of 7 and a Bulldogs first down, but we are going to have the officials meet from where Hansen threw the football. Is there a flag?
There's a penalty on the near side, clear on the Henley sideline over here.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see it there right in front of the 40. Okay. And was it just picked up? It doesn't look like anything is being enforced or any signification from our white hat tonight.
It might have been a sideline warning.
Understood. Okay. Well, it'll be 1st and 10 Bulldogs as they do earn their 5th first down of the night from their own 47-yard line. Hansen a handoff to Wheeling, and again stuffed for a small gain of about 2 or 3 yards. Stopped right at midfield. 2nd down coming up.
Whitlock and Harper on the stop for the Hornets. 25 seconds left in the first quarter.
Maybe 1 or 2 more plays for the Bulldogs. We're tied at 7 in the final moments of the first. Here's 2nd and 8. Hansen dropping back to pass, looks on the near side, trying to find a receiver down deep. It's Mickelson, and it is caught down by the 20, and he stumbles, brought down to the 15. And a big gain there of about 35 yards, and another Bulldogs first down.
That was a strange play. That ball was thrown high, and I don't think the Henley players in the secondary they didn't see the ball, and the receiver just got right past the defenders and made a long catch, fell down fortunately, and wasn't able to score. So when the second quarter starts, North Bend will be in the red zone.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, the second quarter will begin. The two teams, the Bulldogs and the Hornets, tied at 7 on 104.3 and 960 Sports. You've got HD video tonight on mybasin.com. Keep it locked.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
First play of the second quarter coming in hot as Hansen is wrapped up and tackled down in the backfield for a sack on 1st and 10 from inside the red zone. He's brought down at the 22. So now the Bulldogs out of the red zone. It's a tie ball game, 7-all with 11:40 and counting to go in the second quarter. And the Bulldogs driving. That was play number 8 of a drive that began with about 4 minutes to go in the first. So Bend doing a nice job of keeping the clock rolling, driving down the field, and trying to keep the ball out of the Hornets offense hands.
Chris Janney with a sack, big loss.
It's 2nd and about 15. Hansen dropping back, feels pressure from behind him, gets the throw off, and it is complete to Mickelson over the middle.
That ball was just at the shoe tops, and he was able to make the catch. Good grab, a lot of pressure, and the quarterback's starting to get some pressure now from the Henley defense. Chris Janney's found a little magic on the end. He's coming off that end the last 4 or 5 plays, causing some trouble.
Another play for Hansen, and swiftly wrapped up and wrestled down again.
Juan Manzo, a good tackle in the interior of the line right there, and another 4th down conversion coming up.
So far, 3 for 3 tonight. 4th and 6, And the whistle blown on the far sideline. Looks like North Bend is going to take a timeout. We're going to stick with you through this stoppage and remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Picking the right path can make the journey easier, the distance shorter, and can assure that you end up at the right place. Whether you're dreaming of owning a home or you just want a great checking account, Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union can help you reach your goals. So with this timeout, North Bend going to be facing about a 4th and 5 when we come back. Tonight on 4th down, they have been spotless. Perfect 3 for 3 tonight now in the red zone. The ball is going to be snapped from about the 12-yard line, maybe the 11.
Yeah, Henley's made some adjustments on this drive, mostly with Chris Janney on the edge. The Bulldogs haven't accounted for him, and he's made some big plays. We'll see if they can figure this out as they try to kick a field goal here, looks like, Josh.
All right, well, doing the kicking, it's going to be Clayton Wharton. The kick is up, and it is good. From about 25 yards out, the score now 10-7 in favor of North Bend with 10:18 to go in the second. We're going to stick with you through this break and remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Home and Premier Realty. Little things can add up to big bills when you're buying, selling, or owning a home. And Coldwell Banker Home and Premier Realty's exclusive Beyond the Sale guarantees protect buyers, sellers, and homeowners from unexpected repair bills. To learn more, call Coldwell Banker Home and Premier Realty today.
That was a little victory for the Henley defense, not to give up a touchdown. And I think that North Bend feels good about themselves as well for getting 3 on that drive. So we've seen a lot of different things this season. And North Bend comes out with a second quarter field goal, take the lead, 10-7.
Yeah, that drive lasting 9 plays, and again, like you said, was stopped short. So, yeah, I think the Hornets defense can definitely feel good about how that drive ended. Getting in the backfield a couple of times. Now their offense will have a chance to function with about 10:18 to go in the first half.
If Henley can trade touchdowns with field goals, I think that'd be a good trade. So we'll see if their offense can score again.
Back to receive is Whitlock and Bennett. It's kind of a ground ball kick. It's going to be booted, and a pile of bodies at the 40. We got to sort this out. North Bend thinks they got it. Henley thinks they got it. We'll see who's at the bottom of the pile. It's the Bulldogs. They recover, and they've got the football.
That ball was kicked low. It went about 20 yards, and it was just kind of booted. It just hit the end of the foot from one of the Hornets, and the Bulldogs pick up the first turnover of the ball game. And they'll have the ball in Hornets territory at the 40.
That is a gift of field position for North Bend, who've moved the ball nicely tonight, and they get to operate with the lead. They are up by 3, 10-7, as the offense heads back out onto the field, held to just a field goal a minute ago. But this Henley defense might still feel a little confident. We'll see 1st and 10 from the Hornets 40. Hansen takes the snap. It's a quick pass over the middle to Mickelson, and he is hit quickly, but still upfield for a gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 coming up.
Kyle Nichols, good defense, got there the same time as the football. Made a good tackle, almost had an interception there. Well played.
2nd and 5 for North Bend. 3 receivers to the near side for Hansen, and his running back wheeling behind him. This is going to be a handoff to Wheeling. Has some room moving up the middle before being brought down upfield. A gain of about 10, maybe 11, and a first down for the Bulldogs.
There was a lot of room on that run. Luke Bennett finally made the stop. And North Bend's moving the football again. About 9.5 minutes left to play here in the first half. Bulldogs lead by 3.
It's 1st and 10. This is going to be a keeper going up the middle. Hansen tripped up fairly quickly and brought down, although he's tall, falls forward for still a gain of 4 or 5. It'll be 2nd down and call it 6 for North Bend.
Logan Whitlock made a tricky tackle, was able to trip him up. Otherwise, the gain may have went for a lot longer.
Second and maybe 5 now as another snap and a play action pass. Outlet to the outside, and all by his lonesome is Daniel George. And he is, did he get in there?
He's just short, I think.
Yeah, I think just down at the 1. He had a lot of room, but a good job by the Hornets defense to catch up with him. That will make it 1st and goal from the 1-yard line.
Yeah, you were right. He was all alone out there. Somebody didn't account for him, and he was wide open.
Hanson, the snap, handoff to Wheeling, up the middle, and maybe just short again. And he is maybe inside the 1 at the half-yard line.
That was a nice stop. Ortiz put the runner down in a hurry, and now it's 2nd down. They're just a yard out.
Big play and a possible goal line stand for Henley. It's going to be another handoff to Wheeling, and this time he is in for a Bulldogs touchdown. They're up 16-7 with 7:57 to go in the second quarter. And now a chance to make it a 10-point lead.
North Bend playing aggressively, playing kind of like they have nothing to lose. They really came out from the start and have just dominated offensively.
The kick is up, and it is good. The Bulldogs lead 17-7 with 7:57 to go in the first half. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with you as we continue your coverage of Hornets football on 104.3 and 960 Sports HD video tonight on mybig.com.
Hornet men and women basketball season tickets are on sale now, starting at just $75 for 30 games. Come help us celebrate our 75th anniversary and cheer on the Hustlin' Owls. Reserved season seats start at $175. And our all-new Family Pass gets a family of 4 in on the action starting at just $200. Go to OregonTechOwls.com/tickets to order. We will see you at Danny Miles Court.
We're back in the second quarter at Henley High School, and right now the Hornets trailing by 10, 17-7 to the North Bend Bulldogs. The Bulldogs capping off a scoring drive in 6 plays and about 3 minutes on their previous drive. Took them 40 yards as they were gifted some pretty great field position after a special teams recovery on their previous kickoff. We'll see what they do here. This kick coming out to the 25 is going to be fielded and taken out by Janney. He's trying to go along the far side of the field, taking the scenic route before being brought down at the 25, and that was where the Hornets will begin this possession.
That was a good open field tackle from David Roberts there for North Bend. And the Hornets will start on their own side of the football field, about the 25. And that turnover really hurt, Josh, because you have to think Henley could have went down the field, scored, and maybe taken the lead. And instead,
now you're down by 10.
Exactly.
You got a different way of looking at things on this offensive drive, although I don't think it changes too much in terms of how you approach it. This first play, a handoff to Whitlock. That goes to show you how little changes as Whitlock has a little bit of room moving up the middle. He gets up down to the 40, brought down before reaching the 45. And a big gain there for the Hornets and Whitlock. It'll be 1st and 10, still on their own side of the field at the 45, but another nearly 20-yard gain by the junior running back tonight.
He made a nice spin move to open up that run and get down the field.
It's going to be a play-action pass coming to the near side. That's Sheen who's got it up past midfield, brought down past the 45, down into the 40, finally brought down at the 35-yard line on the near side of the field. A big completion and another first down for the Hornets.
Janney and Sheen with some very nice Janney and Bennett with some very nice blocking for Sheen. And we've got a penalty.
And this one's coming against Henley. Is that what I saw? Looked up and I saw the
Yep.
flag is on the near sideline.
So that play will come back.
Question is just how far back is it going to go? So they're saying the spot of the foul was the 45. And so it's getting walked back to, well, about the 46 on the other side of the field. So maybe the spot of the foul was the 46. Either way, it's going to be 1st and about 8 for Henley after that penalty. Going to be a play action pass. Stork looking over the middle. The pass is complete and running down the far sideline with a bit of room and into the end zone for a Hornets touchdown. That's Luke Bennett on the reception, and he puts the Hornets back into this game. It's 17-13 with 7:06 to go in the first half.
Henley striking quickly again. Shaw did a nice job selling that play action, and Bennett made a nice move on the defensive. He was off for a touchdown.
Now it's up to Sheen to try to bring him back within 3 with the extra point, and he does just that. The score 17-14, North Bend, 7:06 to go in the second. That drive taking the Hornets all of 39 seconds to punch it in and 3 plays to do it, capping off with a Luke Bennett touchdown, and for Luke this year, his 6th touchdown catch. And the Hornets offense back in a bit of business there, bringing it within 3.
Yeah, that was a nice drive, as short as it was. They even had to deal with a penalty there, but they're showing a lot of confidence offensively, and that's going to be an asset for Henley as this game continues. 7:06 left to play here in the first half.
A catch from about 54 yards out as well, and a really great connection between Bennett and Stork there. Now it'll be up to the Hornets defense to try to keep things right where they are. They've been scored on the previous couple of drives. In fact, every North Bend drive has ended in some points tonight as they lead 17-14. Sheen to kick off. He's landed it in the end zone for a touchback twice tonight. Here's the kick. Big boot and into the end zone for a touchback, and the Bulldogs will start at the 20.
That's what's fun about these games, Josh. You just never know what you're going to get, even this late in the season. I don't think we haven't seen a game dominated by the offenses like this all season. Usually the defenses step in and make some kind of a play. These offenses are just racing up and down the field.
Right.
They can't be stopped right now, so we'll see which team makes the adjustments the best, the fastest.
You're right. Scores on not just every North Bend possession, but touchdowns on each of Henley's first 2 possessions as well.
Right.
So North Bend taking over from their own 20. Hansen going to shovel pass to the receiver on the far side. He is wrestled down in the backfield. Call it a loss of 3.
That was Owen North cut out there on the tackle, and Henley did a great job defensively. That was going to be a double pass, I think, Josh. And
yeah, it looked like it.
And there was really good coverage downfield. They had nowhere to throw the football. And instead of a big play, that's a big loss. Nicely done.
And Hansen taking the snap. Again, looking to that far sideline. This time the pass is caught over the middle, but again, brought down after only a short gain. And on the reception there was Daniel George again. It'll bring up 3rd and 11 for North Bend, and 3rd down. Not where the Bulldogs have had a lot of success tonight, just 1 for 5 so far.
Those are the kind of passes you want to give up. Very short gain. Logan Whitlock made a nice tackle to keep it that way.
Here we go, 3rd and 11. North Bend deep in their own territory at the 19. Hansen dropping back to pass. He fires, the ball is tipped and incomplete. 3 Hornets in the vicinity, but it will fall gracefully to the natural grass here at Hill O'Brien Field. 4th and long, and it looks like the punt team is coming out for the Bulldogs.
That was almost picked off by Nolan Northcutt. He's playing a really, really good game here in this first half. And that play had a big impact. We'll see our first punt.
3 and out for the Bulldogs, and back to receive for Henley is Luke Bennett, stationed on the other side of midfield at about the 40 with 5:51 to go in this first half. North Bend leads 17-14. The punt is up, bounces out of bounds near the 35. We'll see where they officially mark it, as Henley will get a chance again on offense with 5:45 to go in this first half.
That was a good break for the Hornets. I think that kick kind of went off the side of the foot. It was only about a 14 or 15 yard punt. And Henley will have great field position.
And they're putting it at the 30, so Henley, not very far between them and the red zone, just 10 yards away there. So it'll be 1st and 10 as Henley comes out onto the field. Stork with Whitlock to his left. 2 wide receivers to his left as well. It's going to be a misdirection handoff to Logan. Bounces around the outside. Is twisted around by one defender, but he stays on his feet along the far sideline before finally being stopped. No gain on the play will bring up 2nd down.
Cameron Thies for North Bend had a hold of Whitlock on that run. And then a flag came in. We'll see what the call is.
Only a couple of flags so far in this game. The teams have played fairly clean football up to this point. And they're waving off the flag, is that right? Yeah. So no penalty on the play. It'll just be 2nd and long.
You know, the way he was tackled, he was kind of whipped around. I think maybe they thought there was a face mask, and then they realized that it wasn't, picked up the flag.
Same formation for Henley, 3 wide on the near side. And it's going to be a keeper for Shaw, trying to maneuver along the right side of the line. He has a little bit of room and finally tackled down after a gain of 11 up the far sideline. Should be good enough for a Hornets first down.
That is so effective when Shaw puts that ball in Whitlock's stomach and the whole defense thinks that he's going to get it. Then he pulls it out, keeps it, and finds an avenue on the outside, and another nice gain. Good work with the football.
1st and 10, Hornets at the 19. It's going to be a handoff to Whitlock coming along the near side. He's got some room, stays on his feet, brought down inside the 10, not quite to the 5. Call it the 6-yard line, and that should be good for a Hornets first down. It'll be 1st and goal for Henley.
Good team blocking that time from the Hornets. And Whitlock was patient. He didn't turn the afterburners on. He kind of waited to see where the lanes were and picked up a nice gain for 1st and goal.
From the 6, the Hornets trying to take the lead in this football game. It's going to be a handoff to Whitlock. Battles through 2 defenders and rumbles into the end zone for a Hornets touchdown. They take the lead, 20-17.
There was a nice gap there, Josh. Good blocking up front, and he walked right in.
His 2nd score of the night. That time again from just 6 yards out. And now we wait for the extra point attempt from Sheen. Trying to make it a 4-point game. The kick is up. Janney with the hold, and the kick is good. 21-17, the Hornets back in the driver's seat. 4:39 to go in the second. That drive for Henley going 30 yards in 1 minute and 6 seconds. 3 plays capped off with Logan Whitlock's 2nd score of the night and his 20th touchdown of the season. Number 1 in the state in that category and in rushing yards at just over 1,000 on the year. He's had a pretty great season, Kevin.
Yeah, he's had just an amazing season, one like we haven't really seen is when it comes to scoring and just piling up yards. The Henley offense in general has just been terrific, scoring 3 times now on 3 drives. So, you know, we've seen that a little bit from this team. Defense has played really, really well and kept them in games all season. Tonight, defense having a little trouble. The offense scores 3 times and gets the lead. So, seeing a good team effort from Henley.
Owen Sheen will kick things off to North Bend. The kick is up. It's going to bounce around at the 15. Picked up by Robinson coming along the near sideline and gives himself up going out of bounds. Just up past the 20, down at the 25 is where North Bend will start with possession.
Luke Bennett made a nice tackle on that run back, and that was a little different kick. That was more of a line drive, and it was mishandled by the Bulldog receiver, but they were able to pick up the football and bring it out to the 25. About 4.5 minutes left to play in the half. Henley with their first lead, 21-17.
Bulldogs with 3 receivers to the near side and 1 to the left of Hansen. Hansen takes the snap. It's going to be a keeper for him, trying to find room up the middle, but is hit pretty hard. Still manages to gain about 5 yards on the play, maybe 6. It'll bring up second down for North Bend, and they keep those legs moving.
Yeah, they have a good running game. And as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, they're just getting better and better, North Bend. They picked up 6 right there.
2nd and 4. Hansen calls for the snap. It's going to be a keeper again on the option, trying to come to the near sideline, tries to go left, in fact goes right, and doesn't get very far. A gain of 3 on the play, maybe more. They might actually get him the first. A gain of 5, it looks like. That's some elusiveness and a first down for the Bulldogs. A nice little run there by their quarterback, Hansen.
The play didn't go the direction they wanted it to, but he found a little gap, picked up the first. Janney with another tackle. He has a handful of tackles here in this first half.
1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 35. Another keeper for Hansen, and he's upfield for a gain of 12. A first down on the play for the Bulldogs, and that little read option is working nicely for North Bend.
Northcutt and Mark Carpenter make the stop, but not until the Bulldogs pick up a first down. And that was some nice ball work that time by the North Bend quarterback as he pulled the ball back and kept it himself and picked up a nice chunk of yardage.
This team's playing similar styles tonight as we are within 3 minutes of halftime. 21-17, Henley leads. North Bend driving. Snapping it from their own 49. It's a handoff to Wheeling up the middle. That's going to make it second down and about 6 after the gain. Crossing midfield down to the Hornets' 48-yard line.
The running game slowing down just a bit for the Bulldogs, but it's still effective. They're still picking up 5 or 6 at a time.
Here we go, 2nd and 6 for North Bend. Hansen directing Wheeling behind him. 2 receivers to either side. It's a handoff to Wheeling, coming around to the left side, and he's wrestled down, again, right at the marker. It looks like he might have got it by a yard. Call it a gain of 7, and what looks to be a Bulldogs first down.
Yeah. Nolan Northcutt, another tackle. Nolan Northcutt and Chris Janney have had a lot of tackles in this first half.
Well, someone's got to get them.
They're doing a good job.
1st and 10, the Bulldogs driving now inside Henley territory at the Hornets 40. Hansen tries to look to the near side for a pass, decides better, now is going to keep it and move. He is brought down on the near sideline in the backfield, a sack for loss of 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11.
North Bend tried to go deep on that one, little pump fake, and then they sent the receiver down the sidelines, but good coverage on the outside. And the quarterback really had nowhere to go and lost about a yard. Good defense by Henley.
North Bend hasn't had to play behind the sticks too much tonight. Hornets defense with a good opportunity as North Bend will take it from the 41. It's 2nd and 11 into Henley territory. Wheeling switching sides twice, ending up on the left side. It is a keeper again for Hansen. He's upended after moving upfield for a gain of 5. That'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Hansen making nice decisions whether to keep it or hand it off. And that one was good for 5 more. Nolan Northcutt once again with a tackle.
North Bend tonight is 1 for 6 on third down. Here it is. The pass to the outside, quick bubble, and the ball is knocked loose. But I think they might just say an incomplete pass. Good coverage there on the far side of the field.
Yeah, that was Kyle Nichols, I think, over there. And he got there the exact same time as the football did. That's how you teach it. Good defense, and we have a fourth down. We'll see if Henley can get the football. Only 39 seconds here to go in the half.
Right now, Henley leads 21-17. Each team does have 3 timeouts. Again, you said 39 seconds to go in the half, so North Bend might try something here on 4th and 5. Hansen dropping back, now scrambling to the near side, trying to look deep. The pass is incomplete, and the Hornets get the ball, the intended target station down near the 20. And Henley will get the turnover on downs, and they'll get a couple of plays from their own 35.
Hansen, the quarterback from North Bend, rolled to the near side. He had time to throw, but the coverage was very, very good downfield. Carpenter ended up knocking that one down. And we'll see what Henley does with about 30 seconds left.
They've got timeouts, they've got the sidelines to work with, and they've got 65 yards of open field in front of them. Stork is going to come out with an empty backfield and 5 wide for the Hornets. 4 to the right side and 1 to the near side for Henley. Stork calls for the snap, looks quickly to Sheen on the near side, tries to find a blocker, stays on his feet and is wrestled down. It looks like he might have gotten to the sideline to stop the clock at 28 seconds.
That's that play we've seen many times this season. They just quickly throw it to Owen, one step, throw it, and see if he can just get around some defenders. That time, it was well played by North Bend, and he lost about a yard.
And timeout is called, I believe, by the Hornets, so we will stick with you through this timeout and remind you that this evening's broadcast is brought to you by Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness. They've got the most understanding trainers that you could ask for. They help you get motivated, and their workouts will make you feel accomplished all day long. Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness want you to lose those reins and get your gains. Also tonight, our broadcast brought to you by Klamath Falls Subaru and Mountain Mike's Pizza. So here we go, 2nd and 10, about 2nd and 11 for the Hornets rather, as Stork takes a snap. He's looking to the near side, trying to find Sheen downfield, and it is incomplete. A well-placed ball there by Stork, but Sheen made a good attempt on the football.
It was
3rd and long.
It was a good effort for late in the half just to try to get a long play, and Owen had to step on his defender, but he made up good ground and was able to get back and defend that pass. So bring up a 3rd down, 21 seconds left on the clock.
Stork now joined again by Whitlock in the backfield. It's going to be a play-action pass. Stork feeling pressure, wrapped up and brought down. Stork sacked, and that will bring up 4th down. The clock's still rolling, and no timeout called by North Bend. They might just let this one run, as that will end the half on a sack. The North Bend defense puts an exclamation point on the first half, although their team trails the Hornets 21-17. We'll be back. We'll break down halftime as we've got it so far, plus a look around the state and up next at the second half. All that's coming up to you as we continue your coverage of Hornets football tonight on 104.3 and 960 Sports. HD video tonight on myson.com.
The road can be a crazy place. Uh-oh! That's why Les Schwab Tires fixes brakes, steering, and more. And those guys don't. Ugh, keep driving. I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first, so I can backseat drive with confidence.
Help maximize your mileage with a free safety check. Just swing by. Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be, handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
All I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, the retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
It is halftime tonight at Henley High School, and after 24 minutes of play, the hometown Henley Hornets are up on the North Bend Bulldogs 21-17. This first half has been all about offense so far. North Bend opened up their first drive of the game, textbook, 17 plays in about 6 minutes and 15 seconds. They capped it off with a 5-yard touchdown rush by their quarterback. It was his 10th rushing touchdown of the season for Cole Hansen. And the Bulldogs were up 7-0 early. The Hornets answered back in the fashion that we know them best for, in a handful of plays in under 2 minutes. To be precise, 5 plays, 70 yards, and about a minute and 9 seconds. And, a minute 56 seconds, there. And Henley answered right back. North Bend then scored another touchdown. After that, they put themselves up 14-7 after it was Luke Wheeling who found himself into the end zone for the Bulldogs, and then North Bend did a little bit of a pooch kick on special teams. They recovered at the Henley 40. They drove the ball 40 yards downfield in just under 3 minutes in 6 plays. They were stopped, though, to just be held to a field goal. That's how they built their 17. The Hornets have then answered back with a couple of scoring drives in relatively quick fashion as well. 3 plays, capped it off with a Bennett-Stork connection from 54 yards out. That was Shaw Stork's 19th touchdown pass of the season. He is ranked second in the state in that category. For Luke Bennett, that was his 6th touchdown catch of the season. He is ranked within the top 20 in the state in that conversation as well. The Hornets forced a 3-and-out on defense, forced the Bulldogs to punt. Hornets got it at the Bulldogs 30. They went 30 yards in 3 plays, and Logan Whitlock capped it off with his state-leading 20th touchdown of the season. Hornets defense has done a good job tonight of getting North Bend into treacherous territory. The Bulldogs are 1 for 7 on 3rd down conversions tonight, but 3 for 4 on 4th down conversions. It's kept their drives alive, and has kept the team in the game. As again, this first half has been pretty well dominated by offense. Kevin, I know you just getting back here, but that's what we were talking about during the halftime break, was how much these offenses have dictated the game, not so much the defense.
Yeah, we didn't see much defense at all, and It's been odd because Henley has had good defensive play most of the season, and I was really proud of the way that they showed patience. Even though they struggled, they kept with it. They stopped drives when they needed to, and they had the lead. So at the half, they should be happy, I would say.
21-17 the score at halftime. We're going to take a break, and we'll give you a look at what else is going on around the state. We've got a score update from Marshfield and Mazama. Details on that coming up on the other side as we continue our halftime show on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Tonight at half, Henley leads North 21-17.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it, but the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager of Clown Falls Honda and Clown Falls Subaru. I've lived here my whole life. Most of our employees have lived here their whole life too. Our sales, service, parts, and body shop teams are all staffed with experienced local folks. You know them and they know you. Our dealerships are comfortable and not corporate. Comfortable means we're focused on you. I'm Rob, and I'm glad to know you.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside.
What rhymes great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
The road can be a crazy place. Uh-oh! That's why Les Schwab Tires fixes brakes, steering, and more. And those guys don't. Keep driving. I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first, so I can backseat drive with confidence.
Help maximize your mileage with a free safety check. Just swing by. Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Honda and Clown Falls Subaru. I've lived here my whole life. Most of our employees have lived here their whole life too. Our sales, service, parts, and body shop teams are all staffed with experienced local folks. You know them, and they know you. Our dealerships are comfortable and not corporate. Comfortable means we're focused on you. I'm Rob, and I'm glad to know you.
Coming back still at halftime tonight at Henley High School, 21-17. The Hornets lead at half in the final regular season game of the season. Kevin, you and I were talking a little bit in the pregame about how Henley, this is a big game still for both teams. Henley looking to lock up potentially home field advantage in the playoffs, maybe for 2 weeks if they're able to get through that week. You know, you look ahead into what would potentially be the quarterfinals. And North Bend, with the win here, could sneak into the playoffs if all goes right. They would require Marshfield to come back from a 30-9 deficit against Mazama at halftime. But lots of things are still in play for both of these teams as we enter the final half of the regular season in a bit.
Yeah, I like North Bend's attitude. I feel like they came in really aggressively, and they had a good game plan. They said, we're big, we're going to try to push, and they made some nice drives, just three times in a row scoring the football. But Henley showing that senior and just really a patient team and a mature team. And I really feel like their maturity is what's going to be the difference for them in the next few weeks against other playoff teams. They didn't panic. They just stuck with their game plan, made a few adjustments, made the stops just when they needed to, and they have the lead at halftime. And it didn't look good for a quarter and a half.
Right.
So just I think just a good effort so far from Henley, and of course they've got to finish the deal and win this game in the second half.
Certainly, and up by just a handful of points here. Up by 4 at halftime, 21-17. We could take a look at what else is happening in the Big Sky Conference. Of course, you mentioned at halftime tonight, Mazama up on Marshfield 30-9. Ashland taking on Klamath Union tonight. No score update there, and also no score update that we have from Hidden Valley taking on Cottage Grove tonight. Although we do have an update from Lost River taking on Prospect tonight. Kev, what was that score right now?
Yeah, I did get a score 49-0 at halftime. So Lost River taking care of business at Butte Falls.
Yeah, Bonanza won last night as well, 64-6 over Chiloquin. One other game going on for Klamath Basin teams this evening. That would be Cross Point Christian challenging Camas Valley tonight. Just a few minutes left in halftime. We're going to take one more break, and then we'll take a look at the half we have ahead on 104.3 and 960 Sports. You've got HD video tonight on myson.com.
This was kind of find me as a person. I love to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Well, the Bulldogs will kick things off for us as we get ready for the third quarter in just a few moments. The Bulldogs tonight trailing the Hornets as we welcome you back on MyBasin.com. My name is Josh Eldridge. Kevin Petrick along with me and the live stream on MyBasin.com. The Bulldogs tonight in their road white uniforms with the maroon helmets and the NB in yellow on the side. Again, white jerseys with navy blue numbering and kind of maroon red lettering and sort of gold blue trim with those white pants. And for the Hornets tonight, the navy blue helmets with the yellow H, the black jerseys with the yellow trim around black lettering, yellow pants, and a navy blue stripe down the side for their home varsity black uniforms. On senior night tonight, we honored some of the seniors before tonight's affairs. Some of the seniors on this Hornets roster, you go down the list: Rylan Fox, Owen Sheen, Tyler Harper, Richard Heim, Owen Northcutt, Cooper Groh, Matthew McCoy, Juan Manzo, Nate Tappan, and Ethan Callahan. The seniors on the roster tonight for Henley having their last regular season game.
And Shaw Stork.
And Shaw Stork as well. Did I miss Shaw?
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, gosh, look at me. It's like it's the first time I ever watched this team play football. Hornets are ready to go in the third quarter. They'll receive going from right to left. As we face North tonight at Hill O'Brien Field, the Hornets will be attacking the west goal. This kick is punched up to the 40, fielded by the one and only senior Shaw Stork on the field. Look at him go, taking a knee at the 38.
That was a good decision. The ball was high and didn't want to risk another turnover on the kickoff, so he called for a fair catch, went down to a knee, and Henley will take over at their own 40 to start the second half. This would be a good chance for Henley to stretch that lead.
Yeah, we talked about how the offenses really did a lot of the work in that first half, and Henley really took advantage of that, scoring on 3 separate drives. Whitlock has scored twice, and now here we go in the third quarter. This is going to be a handoff to Whitlock coming to the near side quickly, slips at the 40 and just lost his footing on the grass. It's going to be a gain of 2. Could have been a lot more, but an unfortunate break for the Hornets.
Yep. Just a misstep. Doesn't happen very often.
As we get into this second half, a couple of disparities that we'll notice right away. The Hornets haven't had to face third down hardly at all tonight. Meantime, North Bend is 1 for 7, but the Bulldogs do have 11 first downs compared to Henley's 6 so far tonight. This is a 2nd and 8. It's a designed keeper for Stork, trying to find some room along the right side, and he does. He breaks through. He's up past the 50, dragged down to the 45, and a 15-yard gain for Shaw.
That time they went to the wide side of the field. The ball was snapped on the near side at the hash mark. A lot of room over there. When you give Shaw a lot of room, he can build up a lot of speed. He picked up the first down.
First and 10, Henley now driving into North Bend territory at the 45. It's a handoff, and nestled down there.
Whitlock with a nice spin move. He picked up a few more.
Whitlock's carried the ball nicely tonight, number 1 in the state in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, and don't forget the impact he has on defense as well. Here's the 2nd and 6 play for the Hornets, now driving into North Bend territory. Keeper for Shaw trying to come along the near side, is being forced towards the sideline, gets wrapped up and wrestled down, not quite to the 40, but did gain 1 on the play. It'll be 3rd and about 5 coming up for the Hornets.
Clayton Wharton made a nice tackle for North Bend. They played that one just right. And Henley did not gain much at all. It'll be about 3rd and, call it 5.
Clock counting now, 10 minutes to go in the third, and Henley up 21-17. Shaw with Whitlock to his right. No receivers to the near side. There's 3 set out wide to the right for Shaw. Tyler Harper is on the near side, lined up as the tight end. Here we go, 3rd and 5. Shaw with a handoff to Whitlock, has a little bit of room. He's up inside the 40, blast through the line. He's up down to the 30 before being brought down at the 26-yard line, exploding through the line again for Whitlock, and Hornets first down.
He did explode. That hole opened up for just a second, and that's all he needed. Very decisive running. Good gain.
First and 10, Hornets now at the 25-yard line, driving it nicely. This will be the 6th play of the drive coming up for Henley. Here we go, 1st and 10. A keeper for Stork on the read option, dances right now, shifts left, he's got some room, he's inside the 20, to the 15, to the 5, stumbling into the end zone, and Henley touchdown for Shaw Stork.
That was some nice balance at the end of that run. He kind of lost his balance at about the 10 and somehow managed to just keep his feet enough to get the ball over the end zone and scored the touchdown. Another quick strike from the Henley offense.
From 25 yards out, Shaw Stork strikes, puts the Hornets up 27-17. Now trying to make it an 11-point game. Pending the extra point from Sheen, it is up, and it is good. The score, 28-17, as Henley takes an 11-point lead, 6 plays, and call it about 62 yards on the drive. It took them just under 3 minutes. And capping it off with, again, that 25-yard run from Shaw. The Hornets have scored the last 3 times. Either team has scored, each with touchdowns. Down at 1 point by 10, now roaring back up by 11 with 9:11 to go in the third.
Yeah, Stork has had a lot of success running the football tonight. I think North Bend's defense is having a little bit of trouble accounting for him. When he doesn't hand the ball off and he can keep it and survey the field, he's finding a lot of room. And that was a nice touchdown run, extending the lead to 28-17. Henley now up by 11. And when you can get a lead in the second half, get a sizable lead, you're going to force the other team to have to hurry their plays a little more than they would want to. Maybe do some things they don't want to do, maybe throw the football.
Still quite a bit of football left to go yet.
Yeah.
Quite, 9:11 to go in the third, but you do make a good point.
If you have 17 play drives that take 8 minutes, you kind of run out of time.
Certainly,
so
yeah. You look at their scoring drives. Yeah, you said 17 plays. Then you've got 10 plays, and well, there you go. Those are 2 touchdown scoring drives. They did kick that field goal, but even then, it took them 6 plays to go 20 yards it was to then kick that field goal. So they are holding on to the football.
They may have to work a little bit more quickly in this third quarter.
A kick from Sheen out to the 15. Blasting through the Hornets players down past the 40, down to the 45 was the returner for North Bend. I believe that was Peyton Forrester, the junior, on the return. Gives the Bulldogs some fairly decent field position to start this third quarter, or their first possession of the third quarter, I should say. Blasted through the 40 down to the 46 is where they're marking it.
And Chris Janney with a special teams tackle that time.
He's been active.
He has had a very good defensive game for sure.
It's 1st and 10 Hornets, first and 10 Bulldogs from their own 46-yard line. Driving from left to right towards the east goal. It's going to be a handoff to Wheeling. Barrels through his own lineman, but dropped down after no gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
Good penetration that time from Ortiz. He got through the line, and Whitlock made the tackle.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side for the Bulldogs, and the running back Luke Wheeling to the right of Hansen. Quick pass coming to the near side. It is caught. And staying on his feet is Jason Padgett. Sheds off 1 defender. Brought up, still not a terribly large gain on the play, maybe 2 or 3 yards, but still an athletic play there by Padgett to stay on his feet.
Yeah, he dodged a few tacklers Henley had it well covered. They just missed a couple of tackles, and I think it was Owen Northcutt who put an end to that play and pushed him out.
And are we waiting for was there a flag on the play? The officials are holding on to the football at midfield. And so it's looking like this one's coming against the Bulldogs?
Yep, I did not see that flag. It was right against the near sideline.
So it'll be a block in the back against the Bulldogs. So this one coming back. They'll repeat second down. And this is going to be second and a little bit more than 20. Call it, 22 yards, second and 22.
Yeah, that was an illegal block by one of the wide receivers blocking on that play.
All right. Now North Bend back in their own territory at the 35. A quick outlet pass caught by Robinson. He's got a blocker down the left sideline, but he is leveled and brought down. Had one block downfield, and now 2 late flags thrown down by where the tackle was made. And we'll have to sort this out down in front of the North Bend sideline.
North Bend's been opting for these short passes, and those could work under the right circumstances, but Henley's played good defense on those, and they haven't been able to gain a whole lot.
So this one's going against the Bulldogs again, a holding call, but there was 2 flags. You wonder if they were both for the same penalty, and hold on.
They're going to decline the penalty because that'll bring up a 3rd down.
So there you go. Yep, exactly. So there it is, declined. And you're right. It's going to be 3rd and 22.
Yeah, the gain was, they only gained about a yard, I think. So take the down.
Wait, so hold on. Now there's a false start coming against Henley?
Well.
And I think Coach Stork is walking out here because he said, we're going to decline the holding call.
Right.
And then he gets hit with a false start call. Well, in that case, we'll take the holding call.
Yes.
We'll take the holding call.
Yes, I don't think he was aware there were 2 penalties. There's a little bit of confusion out there.
And we've got to sort this out. In the meantime, it's a fine time to remind you that this evening's broadcast is, again, brought to you by Klamath Falls Subaru. Through the Subaru Love Promise and Subaru Share the Love events, Klamath Falls Subaru has donated thousands of dollars to dozens of hometown charities. Comfortable and not corporate at Klamath Falls Subaru. Stop by and say hi. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza. Refuel after the game at Mountain Mike's. You've earned a pizza made with 100% whole milk mozzarella and toppings piled so high that you're the only mountain guide to reach the top. Mountain Mike's Pizza on Washburn near Walmart Shopping Center. Mountain Mike's Pizza is pizza the way it ought to be. And so have we figured out the ruling? Do we have to break out the book? Okay. Well, it's going back even further against the Bulldogs, so now I think the holding call is accepted. But we're walking it back 5 yards for the false start.
Well, it looked to me.
Sorry.
The Henley penalty looked to me like it may have been an unsportsmanlike.
Okay.
So they marked it back 10 for the hold, and then they marked it 15 the other way for the unsportsmanlike.
Gotcha.
And I have no idea what down it's going to be.
I think
probably second.
Just for the sake of trying to keep something in line, it's going to be second down. Second and about 16.
All right.
So it did move up 5 yards in the end. North Bend snapping it from their own 40, the yard to gain on the other side of midfield at the 44. Hansen dropping back to pass, rolling to the near side, trying to find a screen to Robinson. Leaps for the ball, but can't rein it in as a Hornets defender was right there to make the stop, and a late flag coming behind the play, stationed at about the 47-yard line.
Owen Northcutt saw that screen coming and broke it up. So the pass was incomplete, but there's a flag in the defensive secondary, and they're picking it up.
All right. Well, that's a lot easier to sort out. It'll bring up 3rd and about 16 for North Bend.
Been a little crazy on this drive, but we do have a 3rd and long situation for the Henley defense here.
And a score update from Mazama and Marshfield. Right now the Vikings leading the Pirates 37-15 after 3 quarters. All right, Hansen dropping back to pass, fires a dart over the middle of the field, but no one is home. It'll bring up 4th and 16. This will likely bring out the punting unit for the Bulldogs, and the Hornets coming up with a defensive stop, aided with a little bit of laundry for sure.
That's just what they needed in this second half. Come out with a score, get a defensive stop, hopefully get the football, add some more points, and get this game under control.
So Luke Bennett is going to go back, stationed at the Hornets 20. This ball going to be snapped from the North Bend 40 for the punt. The punt goes straight up, isn't going to make it to the 45 before it kicks down past the 40 to the 30. Luke Bennett picks it up at the 30, gets up to the 35, brought down at the 37, so he decides to field it late and take it upfield for another 7 yards. Good idea, 1st and 10 Hornets.
Yeah, I like that. If you're sure-handed and you can do that, go ahead and try to get a run back. You never know. And he did get a few yards. So Henley will get their second turn with the football here in the third quarter, just under 8 minutes to play.
Now they'll take over after scoring on their first drive of this half in just 6 plays in 3 minutes. And again, it was a Shaw Stork 25-yard touchdown rush that got them that score. Here they go, 1st and 10 from their own 37. Stork. It's going to be a handoff to Whitlock coming along the near side, up past the 40, now to the 45. He breaks one defender, past the 50 to the 45. Finally wrestled down past the 40 into the 38. Another huge gain for the state's leading rusher.
Luke Bennett with a nice block on the outside. Those receivers really blocking well, making for some big pickups.
Yeah, and exactly. You talk about why Whitlock is the state's leading rusher. A lot of it has to go with that offensive line. They do a great job of making room for him, and he takes advantage. It's 1st and 10. The Hornets driving downfield into Bulldogs territory at the 37. Coming from the near hash, Shaw Stork takes the snap, looks to his right, now looks left. Near side, Whitlock in open field, and just bounces out of his hands. It'll be 2nd and 10.
It was just a little long. That's really the first deep drop back pass we've seen tonight where he could set his feet and look down the field, and just a little long for Logan. It'll be incomplete and bring up 2nd down. It's a good play called to stretch the defense.
And here we go. This time it's going to be a handoff to Whitlock. Sheds one defender, now trying to bounce out to the right side, moves around another one. He's upfield for a gain of 7. Took about 4 Bulldogs to finally bring him down. It'll be 3rd and short coming up for Henley.
Another strong run. He never gives up on a run, and his teammates and his linemen know that, and that's why they continue to block downfield, and they're such good blockers downfield.
Here we go, 3rd and a long 2 for Henley. It's going to be a handoff to Whitlock. He's in there, blast through the 1st down marker and then some. He's inside the 20, to the 15, to the 5, to the end zone. And the Hornets with another touchdown. Whitlock's 3rd of the night, 21st on the season. And the Hornets lead 34-17 with 6:42 to go in the 3rd.
Well executed drive again. That offense, man, they look good. Can't be stopped tonight.
The kick from Sheen is up, and it is good. 35. What?
A different kicker in there.
Different kicker. You got a better eye than me.
Well, it was 62, which I don't see on our roster.
Would that be? Nope, that's North Bend. Yeah, you're right. New kicker in. We'll try our best to get that for you. With 6:42 to go in the 3rd. Henley leads 35-17. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Hornets football on 104.3 and 960 Sports. You've got HD video brought to you on mybson.com.
Oregon Tech men and women basketball season tickets are on sale now, starting at just $75 for 30 games. Come help us celebrate our 75th anniversary and cheer on the Hustlin' Owls. Reserved season seats start at $175. And our all-new Family Pass gets a family of 4 in on the action starting at just $200. Go to OregonTechOwls.com/tickets to order. We will see you at Danny Miles Court.
You got that? Okay. Thank you.
So we've got the name of the mystery kicker for the Hornets, Julian Reyes, knocking in that extra point, and I believe the previous extra point as well to give the Hornets the lead with 6:42 to go in the 3rd. Reyes also going to be kicking off on this attempt right here. Punts it out to about the 30, right up past the 35, down to the 40 before finally stopped. That is where North Bend will start this possession.
And the Henley offense solves all problems when it comes to football. When you score the ball every single time,
yeah,
you're going to win some games. And defense made a nice stop on the last possession for North Bend. So things starting to turn Henley's way certainly here in the second half.
It'll be 1st and 10 Bulldogs as they try to re-enter this ball game. Right now down 35-17. Again, 6.5 to go in the third. 6:37 to be exact. And the Bulldogs have got some work to do here. Here's Hansen. Takes the snap. It's going to be another option keeper for him. Hansen trying to battle his way upfield. Only finds himself forward 4 yards, maybe 3. It'll bring up 2nd down for North Bend.
Matthew McCoy. Aggressive tackle. Stopped him right at the point of contact after picking up about 3.
Here we go, 2nd and 7 for the Bulldogs. Wheeling behind him. This is going to be a handoff to Wheeling, but he is stuffed right away. Might have been a loss on the play. 3rd down and long coming up for North Bend.
Juan Manzo first on the scene. And that Henley defensive line doing a much better job here in the second half.
Created a 3-and-out on their first go at it, and now one play away from doing the same thing. Looking for a 3rd down stop here. They've been easy to come by tonight. North Bend 1 for 8 on such attempts. Here we go, 3rd and 7. Hansen dropping back to pass, looking to the near side, fires a bullet to Paget, and he's to the 50 before being brought down at the 48, maybe the 49. Another close call.
It is close to a first. The pass was complete, but not quite beyond the marker, so we'll see where they mark the football.
And we've got a player down on the near sideline as well. Looks to be a North Bend player, so we're going to have a pause in the action as we figure out if it's going to be a 1st down. It looks like the 4th down marker is turned over there, so when we come back, that could be the case. But with the action paused on the field, a time to remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Les Schwab Tires. Having the right set of tires and wheels on your vehicle is just part of an essential safety checklist. That's why Les Schwab does more than install just tires and wheels. You can come on in for a free pre-trip safety check. They're going to make sure everything's okay at Les Schwab Tires. And worth mentioning, the training crew here at Henley High School tonight, headed up by Jason Taylor at Elevate Physical Therapy. They've been the Hornets trainers all year this season.
North Bend has been effective passing the football really for the most part. When they have time, they give their quarterback time to throw. He's able to find receivers, and they are doing a nice job of heading downfield and just finding those gaps. And that was the situation right there where they were close to a 1st down. They made the catch, and now we're going to measure.
And so the 4th down marker was turned, but they are bringing the sticks out to try to see if they got it. And he is short, so when we go again, it'll be 4th down and inches on the other side of midfield, but not quite to the 49. But again, there is still a player down on this side of the field for North Bend. We will remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Abby's Legendary Pizza. If you're looking for a great place to eat, head to one of Abby's Legendary Pizza locations for some of the best pizza in the Klamath Basin at 1919 Austin Street or 2226 Shalleck Street near OIT. Abby's Legendary Pizza is a proud supporter of high school sports. And as we talk about all high school sports, Kev, you might know the high school volleyball state playoffs begin for Henley tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Yeah,
yes.
They're taking on Sweet Home, and we'll have the broadcast on mybasin.com. If you tune in right about 4 o'clock, we'll be having the game for you as the Hornets take on Sweet Home in the opening round of the playoffs as they try to make it into the quarterfinals and eventually a bid at a state championship. Mazama also cracking the list. The Vikings were the league champion in volleyball. Hornets lost to them, I believe, once this year. And that was all it took to become Skyline Conference champions. And again, we'll have that for you on mybasin.com. Other sports going on tomorrow on your radio. If you tune into 92.5 KLAD tomorrow at 7 o'clock, you'll be joined by Mike Safford and Hall of Fame broadcaster Bobby Thompson for the season opener for Oregon Tech basketball. They're taking on William Jessup tomorrow on 92.5 KLAD. All right, back into the action. It'll be 4th and short. The Bulldogs offense still out there. Hansen takes the snap. It's a handoff to Wheeling. He fumbles the transfer and falls on it. The question is, where is the spot?
He did not pick it up.
I don't think he did. He's short, and the Hornets get it back.
A good stop from the Henley defense, and they earn the football. They'll get it right at midfield.
At the 50 with 5:11 to go in the third quarter. Hornets up 35-17. That's a great stop for the Hornets defense, which has stood the Bulldogs up twice in this second half. 1st and 10 from midfield as the Hornets drive from right to left towards the west goal tonight at Hill O'Brien Field. Stork calls for the snap. It's a keeper on the option to Whitlock. Coming up around midfield, Stork gets to the 45. He stays in bounds, tries to cut across, back the other way, breaks another defender past the 40, down to the 35. Stork creative and a 15-yard gain.
Putting on quite a show, Henley's running backs. There is a penalty marker, it looks like, Josh, down the middle of the field.
Oh, boy, and another North Bend player down too. You hate to see that as well, but we'll see what this flag is.
But that was quite a run. For those of you watching the live stream, I thought he was down 2 or 3 times, and Shaw just kept chugging.
One thing you can't take away from Shaw is his creativity.
Right.
He just makes something out of nothing. You know, Logan Whitlock is a different kind of runner. He takes what's there, but Shaw Stork seems to create things out of thin air.
Right.
And player for North Bend gets back up, walking underneath his own power to some claps from the home supporters here at Henley. And even on a chilly night, it's 42 degrees here at Henley High School. Decent crowd bundled up here at Hill O'Brien Field.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the home field advantage, and it's tough to drive 4.5 hours from the coast and come play in this climate. And
sure.
And, you know, for the playoffs starting the next week, that if we can earn home field, that'll be a big help as well. It's tough to play in Klamath.
1st and 10. I'll have a story for you in just a minute. 1st and 10 here from the 35 now into North Bend territory. A handoff to Whitlock. Comes to the near side, brought down after a 4-yard gain. I was down there on the field talking with some of the North Bend coaches. They called him Coach Raj. He's their offensive coordinator. I'm sorry if I might get the last name wrong, but Paraguayer, he was wearing shorts down there on the sideline. All of his players saying, "Coach, how are you wearing shorts right now?" He said, "I've been coaching football for 20 years. I could take it."
You can still see him down there.
Yeah. Here we go. 2nd and 6 for the Hornets. They're into North Bend territory at the 31. Another handoff to Whitlock, taken along the right side of the line, rumbles forward, still on his feet, and they're going to stop him after a gain of 5. Look to be short of the marker, 3rd and 1 coming for the Hornets.
Yeah, there wasn't much room to run in there, but he weaved his way close to the 1st down marker, and it'll be 3rd and 1 for Henley to try to keep this drive going.
.345 and counting to go in the third, and Henley faces a 3rd and 1. Whitlock behind Stork, 3 receivers to the right. A handoff to Whitlock, bounces around the right side, gives a player the stiff arm. Make that 2, now shifting around, trying to move down the sideline, staying on his feet, past the marker. And Whitlock, a tough guy to bring down, gets the Hornets 1st down inside the 20 at about the 18.
He was really swerving on that one, using those quick feet, going left, going right, and another 1st down for Henley.
And call it the 17, as a matter of fact, down into the red zone for the Hornets. They've scored on each of their 2 previous possessions in this half, trying to make it 3. 2 receivers to either side for Stork, with Whitlock to his left. A handoff to Logan, takes it again, right up the gut, battles forward, and a gain of 5.
Henley now with an 18-point lead, just under 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter, and as you see them do in this situation, they're taking their time. A little bit more methodical, not as hurried.
but still confident.
Certainly.
2nd and 6 for the Hornets. Inside the red zone, it's going to be a play action pass, slant over the middle is caught, and a first down to the 6. And 1st and goal, Hornets.
I think that was Bennett out there. Just a quick slant.
Another first down for Henley gives them 12 on the night. It's 1st and goal from the 6. Stork with a snap, handoff to Whitlock, has some room up the middle, and shakes off one defender while prancing into the end zone, and another touchdown for Logan Whitlock puts the Hornets up 41-17 with 2:07 to go in the third. That is Whitlock's a 4th score tonight.
He really has a sense to find the end zone. Some running backs have that. You can't really teach it. He knows how to just make his way to that end line, and he has scored a lot of touchdowns.
And the snap on the extra point didn't go as planned, but Chris Janney taking it into the end zone. He was the holder on that play and then just took it to the left and ran it in. It'll be a 2-point conversion for the Hornets. They're up 43-17 with 2:07 to go in the third. That drive for the Hornets, 7 plays. It took them about 3 minutes. They went downfield 50 yards and capped it off with another Logan Whitlock touchdown. That's his 4th of the night and 22nd of the season. He is having quite the year, and his team up by quite the margin, again with just 2 minutes and change to go in the third period.
Yeah, we've seen games like this. I believe Henley scored on every offensive possession. Is that correct, Josh?
I think it's one of those where if you don't count the maybe 3 plays they ran with 30 seconds before half.
Right.
But I believe you're right. According to my notes here, they have scored every time a touchdown.
They've had a couple of games this year where they've done just that, and that's no easy feat. This offense is very, very good.
Yep, 6 plays and 6 scores for the Hornets. They're up 43-17.
Reyes will be kicking again for Henley.
Final score from Mazama tonight, 44-15 Vikings. And so we have a Big Sky Conference champion. We'll break it down later on in the evening, but congratulations to the Mazama Vikings. The kick is up, bounces out to the 20. It's going to be fielded at the 10. Coming up now to the 15 before running out of bounds was Robinson. And they're going to mark him down at the 15. That is where the Bulldogs will take possession.
Janney pushes him out of bounds, and I want to find out what he had for dinner because whatever it is, it's superpower. He is just playing great tonight. Another tackle for Chris.
The Bulldogs have been faced with a 3-and-out in their first possession and a turnover on downs in their second possession of this second half tonight. Final regular season game of the year. If the Hornets are able to hold on and win, they will shore up that second spot out of the Big Sky Conference. Still quite a bit of football left to be played. It's 1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 20. They're marking it up to the 20. It's going to be a handoff to Wheeling. He is stopped, maybe a loss of 1 on the play.
That was an excellent tackle by Cooper Grow. No gain.
2nd and 10 coming up for the Bulldogs. They have been thoroughly stopped in this second half. 2 receivers to either side for Hansen, with Wheeling to his left. Hansen looking to his left quickly, and he pump fakes, is wrapped up and brought down in the backfield. Tried to get rid of the football, felt the pressure. He held on to it and was taken down for a loss of 10. It'll be 3rd and 20.
Owen Northcutt was there first. He spun the quarterback around, and then Matthew McCoy ends up with the sack. Huge loss. It'll be 3rd and 20.
Under a minute now to go in the third, and North Bend has got a long play in front of them. 3rd and 20 at their own 10. Hansen Takes the snap, play action pass, looking to the left, incomplete. Intended target, I believe, was Mickelson. About middle of the field, a quick bubble screen, incomplete. 4th and 20, another 3 and out for this Henley defense.
That was Tyler Harper with the good coverage. That pass play was going nowhere. He made a good stop. And it feels to me like we've seen games like this as well. The Henley defense, they get stronger as the game goes on.
Certainly.
I think they're well conditioned, and they just seem to play better and better as the game progresses. After those first 3 drives, North Bend hasn't scored a point.
Luke Bennett stationed at the 50. The kick is up from inside the end zone. This kick kicked out to the 45. Bennett's going to take it to the 40, now to the 35, cutting across the far side of the field to the 30. He's now to the 25, he's to the 20, he's inside the 10, to the 5, and a touchdown for the Hornets. A punt return for Luke Bennett.
Luke Bennett showing he's dangerous as well with the football. Showing some good speed, some good moves on the outside. He gets a quick Henley touchdown.
49-17 Hornets as they try to kick the extra point again in the hands of Julian Reyes, the new face for the Hornets tonight. Hornets score with 26.5. The kick from Reyes is up, and it is no good. Looked to be a little bit wide right, but that's all right. The Hornets up 49-17 on the return from Luke Bennett from 45 yards, and he turned on the Jets as he cut across the far side of the field, cut up the sideline and into the end zone. It was a good return.
It was a nice return. He's one of the more aggressive returners we see in high school. He'll field any kick, whether it's slow or it's bouncing around or whatever. He wants to return it, and it's a good thing because he's a very good runner. He's skilled. He ended up with a touchdown on that one.
North Bend will get another opportunity. 3 drives for the Bulldogs in this half. 3 drives without a first down. They have been held to 11 since the end of the second quarter. They find themselves down 49-17 with under 30 seconds to go in the third period. Julian Reyes to kick off again for Henley. And to receive for the Bulldogs is going to be number 4, Peyton Forrester, and number 10, David Roberts. And there you see Reyes on your screen on mybasin.com. Live stream run tonight by Caitlin Rodriguez. The kick from Reyes is up, fielded at the 15, brought out to the 20 by Robinson. Tries to cut back at the 25 and wrestled down at the 25, and that is where the Bulldogs will start this possession.
And who made the tackle? Chris Janney.
Staying active.
He's having a whale of a game. Special teams and defensively made a lot of tackles tonight. 22 seconds left to play here in the third. North Bend brings their offense out.
And the Henley defense coming out onto the field. It might be time to see a couple of new faces as we enter the latter part of the game. We'll try to get any of the new guys that we see out there as the game moves on tonight. A whistle as the play begins. It was a handoff to Luke Wheeling up the middle. Had a little bit of space, but again, the play was called dead. So we'll see what the flag is that's stationed at about the 25-yard line where North Bend started possession, the line of scrimmage. And our officials chatting it over this evening. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Picking the right path can make the journey easier, the distance shorter, and can assure that you end up at the right place. Whether you're dreaming of owning a home or you just want a great checking account, Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union can help you reach your goals. And I was looking down here at that. Kevin, did you see what the call was?
I did not yet. They're still trying to mark it off.
All right.
The officials are talking to the North Bend players, so I assume it's on Henley.
Okay, so looks like just a 5-yard penalty will make it 1st and 5 as the ball is brought up to the 30. Still in Bulldogs territory, and the clock keeps rolling at 20 seconds. Here we go, 1st and 5. It's going to be a quick pass to Wheeling. The running back out of the backfield cuts up for a gain of 4, short of the first down. It'll be 2nd and 1. And now 8 seconds to go before the fourth quarter begins. No, they're going to give him the first down, actually. It looked maybe short, but 1st and 10 Bulldogs after that 5-yard completion. Gives the Bulldogs their 12th first down of the night, and that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. 49-17, and the Hornets lead entering the final 12 minutes of the regular season, and we'll have it for you right here on 104.3 and 960 Sports. HD video tonight on myson.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between. We keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Fourth quarter getting started. It's a read option for Hanson, the North Bend quarterback, to start things off in the fourth quarter. The 1st and 10 play for North Bend got them forward about a yard. They're stationed at the 31 now. It'll be 2nd down for North Bend as they trail the Henley Hornets 49-17 in the final week of the regular season.
1 quarter left here in this season, and we are seeing some new players, Josh, enter the ball game as Henley has a sizable lead, 49-17.
Try to get those names for you as the broadcast continues, both on the offensive and defensive side of the football. Hanson kicks Wheeling out wide. They find him cutting up field, a gain of 5 yards. They'll bring up 3rd and about 3 for North Bend.
Nolan Northcutt made the stop. And with that Marshfield Mazama final, North Bend has been eliminated.
Sure.
I don't know if they know that or not, but makes things a little
and the
tougher
Vikings,
for them.
The Vikings crowned league champs for the 9th consecutive season in football. We'll talk about it all as we continue our coverage tonight and into the post-game show, where we'll try our best to give you an idea of how the playoffs will look for Henley. And, of course, our Mountain Mike's player of the game. We'll decide that as well.
Hornets defense forcing a 4th down.
4th down and 1.
Punt formation.
And back to receive again is Bennett. He's stationed at about the 20. Kick is up. It's going to bounce at the 30. Bennett is going to field it, trying to find a soft spot in the defense. Past the 35, the 40, to the 45, the 50. Just the kicker to stop him down to the 40, the 35, and wrestled down at the 30. Bennett with another great return gives the Hornets great field position here in the fourth quarter.
Sam Mickelson made a touchdown saving tackle for North Bend. Another good run back for Luke. That brings the ball way into Bulldog territory at about the 30.
Henley leads 49-17, under 10 to go in the game, 9:49 to be exact. And Henley's offense headed back out onto the field. Shaw Stork still out there. Luke Bennett out there as well, most of the offensive line. But we do have a new running back in the game for the Hornets, and it's Jason Kern, the sophomore, 5'6", has gotten a lot of reps late in these games that Henley has control of. He's an exciting runner. We get to see him here, 1st and 10 from the 30. Kern takes the handoff up to the 30 before being brought down inside the 27-yard line. It'll be 2nd and about 6.
Jason Kern, the ball carrier.
And we'll be changing quarterbacks as well.
So Shaw Stork gets to take that one snap and exit to some applause from the home supporters here. A great senior season for Shaw that isn't yet complete. Again, the Hornets will have some playoffs in front of them, and we'll talk about that as we move forward tonight. Here we go, another handoff to Kern. Staying on his feet, a nice run up for 2 yards, 3rd and 5 coming up. And Nolan Northcutt getting some quarterback reps for the Hornets. Nolan, like you mentioned earlier in the game, Kev, he had that cast at the beginning of the season, but we did see him play some backup QB last year. He's explosive. He's got a nice arm.
Yes.
And he's got that same explosiveness out of the backfield that Shaw does. So it's good to see Nolan now healthy with that arm, taking some reps at QB at the end of the season.
Yeah, he's a very good quarterback. He just had the unfortunate injury where he couldn't play a lot of offense, and it's good to see him out there.
3rd and 5 for the Hornets. Nolan takes the snap. It's a handoff to the far side. It looks like Rylan Fox on the carry and stopped and brought down. 1 yard gain on the play. It'll be 4th and 4 for the Hornets. We'll see if they bring out the punting team or if they decide to go for it here deep into Bulldogs territory inside the 30, about the 26-yard line. 4th and, again, about 4, maybe a long 4.
Henley taking their time, trying to finish this game. Just under 8 minutes now.
So the offense again, they're staying out there. 4th and 5. It's going to be a play-action pass tipped over the middle, but caught.
Oh.
That is a gain of 10 on the play for the Hornets, and trying to find out who caught that football. It was tipped up for anyone, and a Hornet came away with it.
I think Bennett caught it.
Yeah, I think that was Bennett.
Yeah, it was nice concentration. The ball was tipped right at the line of scrimmage. Kind of just went straight up, and then he caught it, and it was enough for a 1st down.
1st and 10, Hornets inside the 20 at about the 16-yard line. So they keep it moving. Here's the 1st and 10 play. It's going to be another handoff to Kern, upfield for a gain of 2.
Jason Kern carries.
6th play of the drive coming up, 2nd and 9.
This group moving the football, doing well.
Important reps still. We always talk about it, but even though the score might be decided, still important reps for these guys making varsity next year. Northcutt fires a quick pass to the near sideline. It's caught at the 10, and that is where the play will stop. In on the reception for the Hornets was Mark Carpenter, a new face on the offense. And Carpenter was getting some action while Tyler Harper was hurt early in the season. Harper has since returned to the lineup in the last couple weeks, but Carpenter has shown he's got some hands both on offense and defense. He's got 2 picks this year as a defensive back.
Yeah, Henley's depth has been great. Whenever someone has needed to come in, you can hardly tell. They've done a nice job filling in, and Carpenter is one of those players.
6:20 and counting to go in the ball game. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Hornets, driving deep into Bulldogs territory. This snap from the 10. It's going to be a keeper for Northcutt, and he is down into the 5. I believe that'll be good for a Hornets 1st down. It will. 1st and goal, Henley, as Nolan Northcutt on the keeper there gets the 1st down. Same formation coming out for Henley with Kern to the left of Nolan Northcutt. 2 receivers to either side. It's going to be a handoff to Kern. Tries to battle through the jumble of bodies and finds himself into the end zone. Another Hornets touchdown as they now lead 55-17 with 5:37 to go in the game. And that will certainly trigger a running clock situation with 5.5 to go as the Hornets will kick the extra point once more with a new face, Julian Reyes. Touchdown score for the Hornets.
That's a good sense of accomplishment for that unit. Moved the football pretty well. Ended up with a touchdown.
We
All right, I believe Mark Carpenter on the hold this time for Henley. Nope, it is Janney on the hold. The kick is up from Reyes, and it is good. The score now 56-17. The Hornets lead with 5 to go in the final period. We'll take a break, and we'll be back to finish out the ball game on 104.3 and 960 Sports HD video tonight on mybase.com.
Hornet men and women basketball season tickets are on sale now, starting at just $75 for 30 games. Come help us celebrate our 75th anniversary and cheer on the Hustlin' Owls. Reserved season seats start at $175. And our all-new Family Pass gets a family of 4 in on the action starting at just $200. Go to OregonTechOwls.com/tickets to order. We will see you at Danny Miles Court.
The hand warmer, Kev?
No, I actually have. Fine, thank you, though. Thank you.
Fourth quarter, 5 to go in the final frame, and Henley up 56-17 over North Bend in the final minutes of the regular season. The Hornets looking to lock up a high playoff seed. We'll give you that picture coming up in the post-game show, and we'll also talk to our Mountain Mike's player of the game coming up in the post-game show as well. You have to stick around to find out who gets a $25 voucher to Mountain Mike's Pizza. As, of course, the Hornets got to kick off to the Bulldogs first. The kick from Reyes is up, and going to be fielded at the 15 by Robinson on the far side, trying to maneuver down the far sideline. He's got a little bit of room up to the 35, and he ran out of bounds. And so North Bend will take over possession.
And we'll see a bunch of new defenders for Henley, as they'll get about 4.5 minutes to play.
And North Bend will take over at their own 34-yard line as that offense heads back out there. A couple of folks for the Hornets. Let's see, I believe that's, did I see Richard Heim walk out there potentially?
Yeah, he's out there playing cornerback.
All right, here we go. North Bend, 1st and 10. Hansen still in at QB. Fires a quick pass to the receiver, Robinson, and a flag after that play. It was a gain of 9. We'll see if there's anything more coming. Again, it was Roberts on the catch. Pass interference against the defense.
Got there just a little bit early. I think that was Rylan Fox out there. I mean, just a smidge. Is that a word? Smidge.
I think that's
just a smidge early. It was a good defensive play, just a little bit early, and the referee called it. So it'll be pass interference against the Hornets.
It'll be a first down for the Bulldogs. Mark it their 13th of the night. That equals Henley's total.
Yeah, what a change in momentum. North Bend started the game, just couldn't be stopped for 3 possessions, and then that was it. Henley's offense just would not quit.
And their defense figured out the Bulldogs a little bit, which was one of the things we had talked about at halftime. It'll be 1st and 10 from the North Bend 49. Hansen dropping back to pass, looking deep and incomplete down the sideline. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs.
North Bend looking to just get a long score. Try to find something to add to their total.
Here we go, 2nd and 10. Hansen takes the low snap, drops back into the pocket. He's rolling to his right, trying to find a player down the sideline. It is once again incomplete. We'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Clock continues to run with the running clock.
2:10 to go in the ball game. 56-17 Hornets.
We'll get a few more plays for this group.
3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs. It's going to be a handoff to Wheeling. Upfield, small gain. Well, that was actually a pretty solid gain. 5 or 6 yards upfield, brings up 4th for North Bend.
Caleb Swanson-Utley with a tackle.
Along with Luke
Here we go, 4th down, North Bend. Likely their final offensive play of the night is going to be a keeper for Hansen. Has some room, moves upfield. He's got the 1st down and then some. Now to the 30, inside the 20. He's going to run out of bounds before the 15. And that's a 1st down for the Bulldogs. And they convert on 4th down once again tonight. They've had some luck on those late down conversion attempts, and even in the final minutes of this ball game, it's no exception. It'll be 1st and 10 North Bend from the Henley 20. Here we go, Hansen dropping back to pass once more, rolling to his right, tries to find a receiver down the far side of the field, and it's caught for a gain of 9. North Bend trying to put something together, and they will call a timeout to stop the clock with 51 seconds to go. So they are wanting to put a score up on the board. They're moving the ball nicely against this second unit for Henley, and again, these defensive backs, it's good experience to see these guys coming at them. North Bend keeping a lot of the same starters in there, so again, valuable minutes for this second unit for Henley.
Yeah, great experience for the Henley players on defense on this drive and on offense on the previous drive. They also got some good reps. I think it's noble of North Bend to try to score here, showing some pride. They're hustling on the ball. They want to get another touchdown. They call a timeout. Going to try to call the right play and do just that.
Tonight's game brought to you by Coldwell Banker, Holman Premier Realty. Little things can add up to big bills when you're buying, selling, or owning a home. That's why Coldwell Banker, Holman Premier Realty's exclusive beyond the sale guarantees protect buyers, sellers, and homeowners from unexpected repair bills. To learn more, call Coldwell Banker, Holman Premier Realty today. 2nd and 1 for the Bulldogs. They are at the 21-yard line. Hansen in an empty backfield. He feels some pressure. He's now rolling around to his right, switches back, coming to the near side, to his left. He's being chased down, wrapped up, and brought down.
Cohen Redmond gets the sack. Nice pursuit, Cohen.
Another timeout called by the Bulldogs. That will be their 2nd of the half. They tried to put a little something on the board. Again, they are down 56-17. But they have moved the ball nicely, and again, throughout that first quarter, we'll dive into it more in the post-game show, but North Bend was moving the ball real nicely all game until it seemed like right after halftime, Henley had the answer.
Yeah, well, when that offense scores every time, you put pressure on that North Bend offense, and then they got a few penalties, backed up a few times, and just came up empty, just couldn't score after those first 17 points.
Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club. Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness have the most understanding trainers you could ask for, and their workouts make you feel accomplished all day long. Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness wants you to lose those reins and get your gains. Here's 3rd and 6 for North Bend with 38 seconds to go in the ball game. Hansen looking for a pass over the middle. It is caught by Mickelson and into the end zone. The Bulldogs score with 30 seconds to go. Oh, pardon me, that was Roberts in on the reception. And North Bend trims the lead to 56-23. As the clock still rolls, as we'll likely get the extra point and potentially call it a night here at Henley High School. Now under 10 seconds. To do the kicking for North Bend is Clayton Horton. The kick is up. And it is good. The score 56-24, 2.9 remaining. And the clock stops, so we will get the kickoff and ensuing play. But the final score likely not going to change, I would imagine, too much. 56-24 as Henley came in, took care of business on senior night. And they looked pretty dang good doing it. Not much else to say that we haven't already said yet. Of course, in the post-game show, we will talk about the fact that Mazama has clinched the Big Sky Conference after a convincing win over Marshfield earlier this evening. We'll take a look at some of the potential playoff matchups that could be coming the Hornets' way. Going to do some speculating, which is everyone's favorite thing. And we will do that all in the post-game show coming up in just a few minutes. You can see him at the bottom of your screen there. Braden Morris is going to join us after the game. There's still a couple of seconds left to go, so we'll play out this final about kickoff. And again, the center and captain, Braden Morris, will join us in the post-game show. So stick around for that. And, of course, the final play of the regular season for the Hornets. All right, here we go with the kickoff with 2.9 to go in the game. In the fourth quarter, 56-24. The kick is going to bounce out to the 45. The Hornets will fall on it, and ball game. The Henley Hornets take this one 56-24. We'll be back and we'll break it all down for you as we continue our coverage tonight on 104.3 and 960 Sports. You've got HD video tonight on mybasin.com.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager of Clown Falls Honda and Clown Falls Subaru. I've lived here my whole life. Most of our employees have lived here their whole life too. Our sales, service, parts, and body shop teams are all staffed with experienced local folks. You know them, and they know you. Our dealerships are comfortable and not corporate. Comfortable means we're focused on you. I'm Rob, and I'm glad to know you.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
And we are back on 104.3 960 Sports. HD video tonight on mybasin.com. We're joined by our Mountain Mike's player of the game, team captain and starting center Braden Morris joining us on the post-game show. Braden, you guys had a pretty good showing tonight, but even you came up here and you told me right away it was a little bit touch and go in the first half, but you guys figured it out. Talk to me about some of the adjustments that you made in that second half.
You know, we went into halftime. We were still up, but we were disappointed in how they came out, and we kind of came out flat, but we made adjustments to our defense, and we executed and came out in the second half, so it was good.
You and I talked earlier this week about some of the leadership qualities of this offensive line and how much it opens up this offense. How do you feel like that unit did tonight, opening up the field for guys like Logan and Shaw?
Oh, it was great. They ran all over the field. You know, you saw them bring up those backers. We pointed them out. We communicated. Shaw knew that we were going to talk it out, and it was good. We didn't have to check or anything. It was nice.
Final game of the regular season, but it still seems like you got some football to play. Have you thought too much about the playoffs, and what are you thinking heading into the postseason?
You know, hoping for 2 home playoff games, but, you know, we're taking it week by week. You know, we were just looking at these guys, not looking ahead, and it worked out well for us.
All right, I'll let you go celebrate with your team. Thank you for
All
joining
right.
us on the post-game show. But first, I got to present you with this certificate here from
Thank
Mountain
you.
Mike's Pizza. Hold it up for the camera. And Braden, you have earned a Mountain Mike's Pizza made with 100% whole milk mozzarella, toppings piled so high you'll need a mountain guide to reach the top. Mountain Mike's Pizza on Washburn near Walmart Shopping Center. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be. Thank you. Go celebrate with your
Thank
team,
you.
and we'll see you next week. Braden Morris with us on the post-game show on 104.3 and 960 Sports. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will break down this game and take a look ahead at what holds for the Hornets as we enter the month of November next week. That's all coming up on 104.3 and 960 Sports. HD video tonight on mybasin.com. Henley with a 56-24 win over North Bend.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
We're back on 104.3, 960 Sports. HD video tonight on mybasin.com. Final score tonight from Henley High School, 56-24. The Hornets capping off their regular season with a win. It is win number 8 on the season overall. 5-1 in league play for the Hornets. They lock up home field advantage, at least for the first round of the playoffs. And while there's not too much to say about the game we saw here tonight, not anymore that we've already said throughout the broadcast, before we wrap this game up and we start to look ahead to the playoffs, do you have any final thoughts about how the Hornets performed tonight, Kev?
Well, I just kind of want to sum up the season. I mean, coming into the season, we didn't really know what to expect, and I just feel this team has just grown so much, from Seaside to here, and I really feel, as coaches, you want your kids to be playing their best at the end, and I really feel like they are. They've been healthy. They played well. There's been a lot of kids in and out with a lot of reps, and so I think Henley's in a good spot. And tonight they showed that. They had a little adversity at the beginning of the game. They overcame it. We spoke with Braden after the game, and the coaching staff deserves a lot of credit for keeping these players on the even keel. They don't get too excited. They don't get too down. And I just think Henley's in a real good place going into the playoffs next week.
Hey, you talk about going into playoffs next week as we enter the month of November. 1 week from tonight, the playoffs begin. And Henley has locked up the 2nd seed out of the Big Sky Conference. We will say once again, Mazama earned the Big Sky Conference title. It's their 9th conference title in a row as they took care of business across town against Marshfield tonight. 44-15 was the final. So congratulations to Vic Lease and his program over at Mazama High School for a 9th straight league title. Henley is the 4th-ranked team in the state. You look at what that might mean for them coming up next week. We were kind of talking about it's going to be in that 13 range. They'll get the 13 seed, so could be Woodburn, could be Staten, could be Junction City. Each of those teams are 6 or 7 win teams. They're good squads, and Henley is going to get someone at home, which I think is the key takeaway.
Right. Yeah, we don't know how the numbers will shake out, but we do know Henley will get a home game. So, we mentioned earlier, teams don't like coming over here, and it's going to be cold, and the elevation could get to them, and Henley will get to play on their own field and go to school that day and do the normal thing. So, it just sets up to be a real nice playoff scenario for the Hornets for sure. Yeah.
The rankings freeze tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, so we will know tomorrow evening who the Hornets are going to be playing 1 week from tonight here at Hill O'Brien Field. You'll also find out who the Vikings will play, who the Raiders at Lost River are going to play as they made the playoffs after a convincing win tonight as well, who the Marshfield Pirates are going to play on the road. They're another team from our conference that's going to be making the playoffs. A lot of excitement surrounding this time of the year in the Klamath Basin. Of course, with Henley taking care of business tonight, 56-24, the final this evening. This about does it for us. Appreciate you spending the evening with us on mybasin.com. Of course, you can go back and watch a replay of this event by just visiting mybasin.com. It's your home for everything going on in the basin, from news to sports to everything else. Check us out online, mybasin.com. Would like to thank a few of the folks that make this broadcast possible. Of course, Henley Athletic Director Luke Hammond for making sure we're set up each and every week here at the home facilities. And, of course, both head coaches tonight for working with the broadcast, Gary Prince at North Bend, and here at home, Coach Alex Stork for working with the broadcast tonight. Final score this evening, the Hornets close out the regular season with a 56-24 win. For Caitlin Rodriguez and Kevin Petrick, I'm Josh Eldridge saying good night from Henley High School.